Francisco with a good start.
Commanding performance from the Dallas Fuel.
And Shock, nice defense.
Dallas Fuel get the map done.
Sleepy with the kill.
Nicely done by Harry Hook, of course.
Wow, Dante.
And Custer was there. That's just confidence.
Dak hits a big one. Oh boy.
Welcome back, guys. My name is Aaron Stevie, and if you're looking for Malik, he is down in Australia filming Kangaroo Jack 3. So coming up next, we have the San Francisco Shock versus the Dallas Fuel. Now, the Dallas Fuel is right, in fact, here says one team, so that's cleared up. Also, the first time that these two teams have met in Stage 1, the Fuel left with a victory of 3-0. So can the Shock come back with revenge? I don't know, let's find out. I'm gonna send it on over to Golden Boy to break it all down.
Thank you so much, Aaron. Appreciate it. And yeah, I mean, I hope Malik is having a good time there on vacation. It's like, come on, man, you know? Like, it's not like I get to take any vacations or any breaks, right?
Only like 3 weeks a month.
Oh.
In fact, like nothing.
Oh, yeah, that's awkward.
There's that.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, I was
What was that
actually on
trip to
vacation
Iceland
too.
like?
I was on vacation in Iceland. It was beautiful. You should go sometime. All right, welcome back, everyone, to the desk. We get ready for this next game. It's going to be Dallas Fuel versus the San Francisco Shock. And I am personally excited for this game because I think it's actually going to be pretty close.
You sound excited.
Yeah. Well, I'm always excited, man.
Even when we were talking before this, like, this is going to be the game. That's what you were saying. To me, personally.
It was great last time as well. It was great last time they played. Even though it was a 3-0 to Dallas Fuel, that was insanely close the last time these two teams matched up.
And I'm excited for this one. We've used that word 50 times, so that's how you know. But I'm also excited for the schedule. Let's go ahead and take a look at that beautiful graphic as we just saw the Dynasty take the match against the Shanghai Dragons 3-1. Coming up next, as you well know already.
We mentioned how exciting it is.
The exciting game of excitement, San Francisco Shock versus the Dallas Fuel. So excited. And then what's going to be awesome is the Battle of LA. Different word there. LA Valiant, LA Gladiators, toe-to-toe, right here in LA. Hey, it's kind of like we're here, and it's like a
Would you say that's also going to be exciting, or?
I don't know.
All right.
It's going to be riveting.
It's going to be incredible. But let's go ahead and introduce your first team. Making their way to the stage, it's the San Francisco Shock. Now, Zoe, what can you tell me?
Oh, I can tell you so much about that team, but what I really want to talk about is that in Stage 1, basically all their strats revolve around Baby Bay.
Yeah.
So the key here was just shut Baby Bay down, and then the team is basically, you know, disassembled. But it doesn't seem to be the case anymore in Stage 2. With the change of the meta, Dante is one of the players who has been stepping up big time.
You know I get excited when it comes to Dante, Zoe. You know when that name comes up, because this guy has been turning up in Stage 2. He's been playing well. And I mean, it doesn't matter what role he plays on, because he just turns up, it seems, every single time. Fills in the gaps of what the team needs, and always performs on a high, impeccable level.
Okay. Oh, that's very well spoken from.
Yeah, I want to talk about the last time these two teams matched up as well, because they both play a kind of slower style when we watched the San Francisco Shock and Dallas. And even though they lost 0-3, the San Francisco Shock had a very strong chance at going up 2-0 at the half. They had an unfortunate push on Eichenwald and then couldn't quite make it happen in the second map. And so I think that San Francisco Shock are going to be looking for revenge big time here.
And I think they are more than capable of being able to do it, but their opponents don't want to see that happen. Let's go ahead, put those hands together for the Dallas Fuel. Coming into this one, 2-2 in Stage 2, 5-9 overall. But Zoe, you did talk to Kai about this match.
I did, and he said that the team is feeling absolutely confident going into this game against the San Francisco Shock. And when I talked to Kai, he said that they tend to win those reactive versus reactive matchups. They expect this to be one of those.
Yeah, I could agree with that for sure. And I mean, I've been looking at Dallas with these pickups they've been getting on. You know, we got Rascal coming into the mix alongside a whole host of other players, including now Taimu. He's in the starting lineup, but not in a role that we know him as. He's going to be playing that main tank role instead of XQC. This entire roster just tends to surprise. And of course, Chips Hyen as well has found his seat once again. He got a bit lost on the past few games trying to find it, but he's here now.
Yes, I believe he was ill during week 1 there, but they brought in, this is the new guy that they signed, AKM, is going to be pairing up on DPS with Effect, of course. And that means that they run slightly more predictable compositions with AKM mostly on the Soldier 76. But he outputs so much damage that it's still really difficult to stop. AKM and Effect just pouring the damage out from this team.
He knows what he's doing. He's fully aware. No, stop it.
He was trying to keep a straight face,
Not
but
today.
it's not happening.
Oh,
Keep
dear.
your hands warm, mate. What's wrong with that?
I've been told it is the most effective way. That's not even a joke.
It is. Everyone who has ever had to work with these hand warmers, that is indeed the way.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. It is cold in here, ice cold. But the fuel are looking to heat things up.
Oh wow!
Hey.
Wow!
Oh,
I like it.
Oh,
I like
I
it.
love
that's
that.
right.
That
Wow.
was fantastic.
I
It's almost like your job is talking on camera.
No, that's actually
Incredible.
not my job at all. I'm more of just.
He
a
bags
prop.
groceries
I
in the
bag,
off time.
I bag groceries on my. Yeah.
Those 3 weeks a month that he's off, he's
I
fine.
actually go to Iceland and I bag groceries in the supermarket.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a life.
I auditioned at Tesco. They turned me down.
That's
so.
surprising. They picked me up.
I know. God bless them for doing that one. All right. Well, here's the thing, though. Dallas have brought in a lot of new pieces to try and add to this incredible puzzle that is a team. But the Shock, they haven't quite made that move quite yet.
Yeah, the signing period opened up at the beginning of Stage 2, and so far we haven't seen any acquisitions from the San Francisco Shock. They seem to be waiting for Super and Sinatra to come in. Sinatra, it's 11 days until this guy can play. Count them down.
Countdown to the apocalypse.
Countdown to the apocalypse, for sure. Because that guy's going to add a lot to the team, and Super is their caller. He's going to be, I think it's like another 10 days before he's available. So they're kind of banking on those pieces, but they're such young guys. That to me seems a bit risky.
But oh wait, I have information to you guys.
Well, are you like a telemarketer? But oh wait,
But
there's
wait,
more.
There is more, indeed, because,
Okay.
all right, I get to talk to the coaches at the beginning of the week, like to all the coaches, and the Shock actually teased me a little bit. I was all like, hey, yo, why did you guys not actually pick up any players?
how she talks.
Then that's exactly how I talk. And they were like, well, who says that? And I was like, well, there was a new player there. And he's like, well, but we're actively looking into signing new players. So maybe before Stage 2 is over, we're actually going to see additions to the team. I did probe some further and did ask, what roles are you looking to pick up? And he literally just said, one of each.
Oh.
All right then.
Oh dear.
So,
Oh my stars.
oh
It's
dear.
spicy over here.
It really is.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Happening here.
I don't know. When I'm on the desk, you never know what's gonna happen.
So I think the focus for San Francisco Shock's current players as well is, at this point, you're fighting for your spot, right? If the organization's actively looking to pick up new players, and yes, the team hasn't had the most success in the world, this win is more vital than any of the previous. You have to show you have the individual talent and the potential to win. Otherwise, who knows who you're going to be replaced by? Bren could be on the San Francisco Shock next week.
God bless. That,
We've
no,
already been
no,
over
we don't need
this.
the Brenji on the Shock.
Multiple
we know.
owl offers, all on Genji.
We don't
You
need
shake your head at
It's
me,
not
but
true.
listen,
It's
it's
not a bit
true.
true.
It's all true.
Well, talking of good damage dealers. Sorry, buddy.
Okay.
Sorry. We actually have 4 of the 5 top damage dealers in this game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's actually crazy. When you look at the guys that have put out the top 5 damage on out of all of the players in the whole of the Overwatch League, you see that 2 of them are from San Francisco Shock and 2 of them are actually from Dallas Fuel. AKM already at the top there. This is why this guy was talked about so much.
Yeah.
He's only been playing throughout Stage 2 and he is right at the top already. You'll notice that it's Soldier 76 and Tracer players for the most part as well.
Yeah, and also another thing too. I mean, when AKM was on Rogue, I mean, this guy was the player to look out for all the time. So it only makes sense here, and he's been surrounded by a great team, but a team that has been struggling to really find their identity, Bren.
That's true, yeah, and that's also a direct quote from XQC we can bring up as well. This was on his stream earlier today, and it says, we need to create for ourselves an identity and see it through, push it, and make strats around it, and just embrace it, because right now, we don't have an identity. We play 3 different styles at the same time, defensive, passive, aggressive at the same time, and it's just not working for us. I mean, that was from his stream, and I mean, it's completely true from what we've seen of Dallas. They seem to be in a bit of sort, not really sure what sort of strategy to run. You know, when XQC was playing main tank, the guy's a very aggressive main tank on the Winston, and he was having to play a lot more defensively because it seemed the team wasn't really communicating as well as they normally would. And now we're seeing a change up in the roster. So this time XQC's not playing. We got Time on the main tank.
Yeah.
Chips Hyan is back in alongside Harry Hook. So we're on back to a return of the OG core of Envious, as they were known shown in the past. So this is probably going to be spelling something spicy, something good, I think, for Dallas now in this game.
Yeah, I'm expecting them to play a little bit slower, work around AKM, vomit out damage with him basically, and then finish off the kills with effect. This should be a pretty good strategy going into it, but San Francisco Shock play a very similar way, so if you can't put pressure on them with people going aggressive, maybe San Francisco Shock now have more room to work.
Do you all feel like Dallas Fuel are going to win this one, though?
I think it's going to be really close, actually. I think Dallas have the edge, but I think this is going to be a really close, good game.
I think Dallas is going to have the edge, absolutely.
Don't put me on the spot like this.
Go.
Well, but you are.
But you are on the spot. And quick, because I got to send it to the commentators. Go.
I'm not going to say.
Okay, you are literally the worst
Wow.
analyst of all time. All right, guys, well, it's time to get into the game. Let's go ahead and make some noise, ladies and gentlemen, because we got the Dallas Fuel versus the San Francisco Shock. Let's send it over to your commentators. It's Uber and Mr. X.
Thank you very much, GB. How about this for your Wednesday afternoon Overwatch? Of course, the Fuel against the Shock. 5-9, and then 4-10 for the Shock. So obviously, you know, these teams are fairly close in terms of overall standings. And the Fuel, good first week, Matt. Got 2 wins on the board. Last week, though, was a 0-2 ring.
It was a very tough week, though, last week for the Dallas Fuel. We can take a look at some of the maps that are going to come up in this series. Volskaya Industries will be the first one. Lijiang Tower, Kings Row, Route 66. So this first map, so for the Dallas Fuel, maybe we see Chips return, play some of that Sombra. You know, he's played that in the past.
That's right.
I think, you know, he was off. They mentioned on the desk he was sick. Also, you know, he played so much Mercy in Stage 1. Got to get used to playing Ana again, Zenyatta, some of the other supports.
Chips wasn't typically the Sombra player on this team, especially so back in the beginning of the Overwatch League and prior when they were envious. It was actually Taimu would play the Sombra and they have like a single DPS set up here.
In this comp, you'd expect, you know, somebody else to pick it up because Taimu's probably going to play tank.
Definitely going to want that in the mix. Or unless AKM goes back to the days of D.Va. You know, he picked up the D.Va on Rogue when Nico either A, had a tantrum, didn't want to do it, or B, was playing Genji. So, you know, there's some flexibility on this team. But who would have thought, Matt? We were talking about this off air. At the start of the Overwatch League, if someone told you you'd be seeing Taimu versus Nomi in a main tank battle.
You would have said I was crazy.
You're bloody dreaming.
Yeah, you'd have said you didn't know who was on what teams.
And yet, here we are. Of course, look, I mean, we've got Effect as well and Baby Bay. AKM thrown in the mix here. It's great. You know, we talked about on the desk, we've got big damage dealers in this game, so expect a lot of the front-loaded, you know, numbers coming out of these guys. I'm looking forward to it. And Effect on the Genji, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's something we've seen a little bit. I know he does have a good Genji. If you've watched his stream before, he does play a decent amount of Genji, so it's interesting to see him bring it out here. You know, in a league match, Taimu will be playing Roadhog, one of the best Roadhogs in the world, and Mickey will be playing D.Va. So they'll go with like 2 off tanks here. As you see,
I think that's a subtle message to Josh there on the desk. They're face palming at the fact that he managed
Did it surprise you that Bren didn't pick either team? I totally expected that.
Yeah, I think, you know, we've seen Angry Ren before. Kind of got a bit burnt, you know. Had to put it away for a
I
little
think he
while.
even deserves some credit for knowing which teams are playing.
He's done well. It is day 1 of week 3, of course, Matt, so we'll let him build into it. Let's jump in. The Shock now on the attacking side. Taimu said to me before the game, he said, I'm going to play the old no one's having fun on the server hero. By that he meant the Roadhog here. So he's hoping definitely to do a bit of what MG did in that previous series, Matt, and get that hook pressure online.
Oh, we've seen Taimu in the past, but some crazy games as Roadhog. It's going to be Baby Bay now, though. We're looking through his eyes on Widowmaker, just trying to get some sightlines. He's going to go up to the high ground. It's going to be, you know, very difficult for AKM to just stand out in the open, get some shots on him. And you see Nevix getting up, trying to protect him there. He gets sleeped.
Now, going to put a dome over him there, so no one's going to wake him up or demech him. And the Fuel have given over that platform, at least most of this room, to the Shock. Effect tried to get up there, harass a little bit onto Baby Bay, but weren't able to really remove him. Mickey might be a little bit isolated there. Very low on HP, barely still in his suit.
Well, Baby Bay was able to take out Harry Hook, so you lose a ton of healing. Losing your Ana, it'll be Nevix getting demeched, but just off of that pick from Baby Bay, you're able to just kind of work your way onto the point.
Look at this, mini divas going at it. Nevix is going to fall down, but Chips has already been removed by Sleepy, getting a lovely salvo across the map with his Orb of Destruction, and that should be the cleanup. We talked about the identity of the Fuel map. What is it? Is it passive? Is it aggressive? Is it defensive? It really looked like the Fuel just allowed the Shock to move in to that first point and take control slowly.
Yeah, with the Shock playing Widowmaker makes it difficult for either of the supports, right? You know, Chips playing Zen, Harry playing Ana, 2 very slow supports, you know, able to just get picked off by Widowmaker with relative ease, and AKM can't really jump out and protect them, right? Because he's an easy target at range with the Soldier 76.
And it's Effect's job to really try and remove Baby Bay, but it's hard. He can't go it alone. He definitely can't 1v6, and Nevix has been protecting Baby Bay.
And for Effect, you don't have a Winston to jump in with you. He'll use his Dragon Blade, but it's going to be Transcendence used here by the Shaka as well. They have a 3-man advantage trying to push the point.
Nomi king of the jungle for now, gets the D-suit and removes Effect. AKM going for a tactical visor from the backside, but he's got a big body in his way, of course. Primal Rage, Nomi using that to make it hard for AKM to connect damage on any of the targets behind him. Transcendence used on the point, but the self-destruct would still be lethal. That's a big shot from Baby Bay. From downtown, he's found both AKM and Taimu. He's set up, he's in a comfortable, safe position. He even has the infra sight right now. It's all too easy for this man.
Yeah, it'll be Mickey on the point using a self-destruct. He actually takes out Nomi with it. Maybe you'll be able to see that get res here by Dak as, man, the Shock have looked good here on offense thus far. That'll be a Doomfist that comes out from AKM just trying to stay alive on the point.
Very close now to capturing. Effect had to back away. He took a big shot from Baby Bay, needed to get a pack and to get back into the action. He has returned. AKM's Doomfist, patented, coveted Doomfist, of course, that we've never seen before. Bring that one into the mix and see if he can make a difference here. Chips has gone over to the Sombra, hoping the fight would last long enough for him to get a big EMP and end it.
You do have Harry going over to Moira as well, so he's going to provide a ton of healing on the point. It'll be Taimu who switches over to Winston.
Huge comp
He
switch.
dives first. Yeah, a lot of changes coming in from the Fuel here. They're going to be down on ults. Chips, though, building up close to that EMP.
Baby Bay again, still a menace, still uncontested and unanswered, sitting in the background, and then the rest of his team's getting the real damage done. Chips is a desperate EMP in over the top. He found Sleepy, obviously removing his shield and then getting the extra bit of damage across the line. Taimu now over, trying to get something done. A fairly drawn-out fight there. I think that's safe to say, Matt. We saw there was enough time for Dallas to make a composition switch. It definitely felt like the Shock were playing around Baby Bay heavily there, but all's well that ends well. Baby Bay with 8 final blows.
Well, it's almost like the Shock game planned for the Fuel not to run a Winston, because they knew that Baby Bay could play Widowmaker. He wasn't going to get contested by much of anything, right? What are they going to do? Send Effect in there as Genji solo? That's going to be a fairly easy kill for a team to get. Or they send Mickey up there as Diva. You're going to get a D-Max. So, with the composition the Fuel had, they couldn't really put any pressure on Baby Bay, and you can see what he does.
I mean, he feels so good. He's not being pressured. No one's even looking at him for the most part. He's the most lethal player on the side of the Shock in that position. And it's Baby Bay. You know, this guy can just sit back and rip shot after shot straight in.
And Baby Bay versus AKM, I think, was going to be a big battle coming in. And AKM pretty much played what? He played Soldier, he played a little bit of Doomfist just to get back to the point, and then switched to McCree at the end. He finishes with 0 limbs, 0 final blows, 4 deaths. Obviously, you know, the Shock just kind of steamrolled through that second point, but the effects of Baby Bay's Widowmaker at range really gave AKM some trouble.
It feels like the composition that the Fuel were playing, which is not so different to this one. Just swap the Zarya out for a Diva. We'll probably see the switch anyway. It wasn't very good at controlling space. They let the Shock get in up on that high ground where Dak is standing right now. And the only person that could really contest it was Mickey. You saw him and Nevix trading shots, the 2 Divas trying to vie for position. But all the Shock got to set up. Then the Widowmaker got to, you know, really lean into that position. The only player that could really get in his face was Effect. Without a Winston, it's literally it has to be a one-man army with the Genji.
And you saw the stat that the DPS players for the San Francisco Shock, no deaths there in the first half, as you get a look there at good old mech out in the ocean. Dante will play Sombra here in the second half. It's interesting, though, with the Shock. You have Sinatra coming in, right? No super as well. Like, you know, the DPS players, I feel like, haven't been the downside of this team thus far.
Statistically speaking, that would agree with you, man.
Yeah, and I think once Sinatra comes in, they'll be even stronger.
Well, that's an annoyance for Taimu there. The Hornet of Dante behind him. Chunk him down to half health now. He at least was able to get healed up by his supports and doesn't have to pop, take a breather early. Doesn't connect the hook. Now needs to back away and be careful. The Shock are not going to give up any ground for free here. You can see Dante's going to be constantly a thorn in the side, getting his way to that first EMP while also being a general nuisance.
Yeah, the Fuel want to get control of this high ground and get AKM set up in a good position. They just don't have somebody like a Winston with like a bubble right to just jump on, get control of that area right away. They have to just kind of lead the way with Mickey. So Mickey's up on that high ground with AKM, Harry, Hook, and Chips right now. Taimu actually gets hacked here on the ground. Don't know if they're going to be able to take advantage of that, though. Everybody from the Shock playing on the opposite side because they're playing around this EMP from Dante.
Remember, Taimu may not have healing when that's around, but there is a Mercy still. Now that's the EMP being thrown in the mix there. Dante gets rid of Mickey's mech, and then Mini Diva is dispatched by Nomi. Baby Bay needs to give a little bit of ground here. He actually does eat that Helix rocket, but he wanted to hang around, get value out of the tactical visor. And yeah, the Dallas Fuel are going to have to step back a little bit here.
And Harry Hook used his Valkyrie during that as well, so you didn't really get a ton of value out of that. You know, with Valkyrie, you'd like to just kind of push on through.
You want to get aggressive behind it normally, right?
And I think that's probably why Baby Bay used that tack visor, because once you use the tack visor, the Mercy can't just fly in the sky. But oh, I was going to say,
That's
let's see if
beautiful.
effective. It looked like he was getting ready to set up a play to go on top with this Dragon Blade, but he'll get AKM res right back up, so Dallas Fuel at full strength.
They're going to have a tack visor as well. Again, having the Dragon Blade of effect backed up by a Transcendence here from Chips is probably the order of the day. Sleepy has one himself though, so again, it doesn't want to be put to waste, and Dante has another EMP. He's going to use it pretty soon. You'd feel at least signified it drops in as well. Chips is just going to get blown the heck up, and AKM eats a full force Helix rocket from Baby Bay. It's all over in an absolute flash. Effect knows he needs to get out. Taimu's looking worse for wear. Harry Hook just cut down as he tries to get back out of the door. Dallas Fuel are not in a position to put enough pressure on the Shock to force a mistake, to force a positioning error whatsoever.
Yeah, that time it was Dante who was able to connect with 2 players with the EMP that go around. He connected with Chips and Harry Hook. So you know, once Chips gets hit with the EMP, it's a very easy kill to pick up. You lose that Transcendence, which you would have liked to probably combo with that Dragon Blade. So now, you know, these EMPs allow the Shock to build up some ultimates of their own. Right now you have both support ultimates. You have another tack visor. Nomi's going to get close to a Primal Rage as well. And look how fast he's built up to another EMP.
This is going to happen. He needs to be managed a bit early on in these fights. But as the effect actually gets hacked there somehow, Dante gets the final tick on him, and that's going to slow the Fuel down again. They're just bleeding seconds here, and they're already a long way behind the 8 ball in terms of the overall time bank, man.
Yeah, Taimu has switched over to Winston now, trying to get some more control of the high ground. It'll be a sound barrier and Transcendence here, used by the Shock to try and battle that Dragon Blade and tack visor from the Dallas Fuel. They do that, they're going to use their own tack visor here, as that's going to be, maybe they put some damage down onto effect, but it's going to get res right back up.
Ballsy stuff from Harry Hook, goes in for the resurrect here, still pressure. Where is it coming from the Dallas Fuel? When are they going to start? It seems now is the time, but Dante has that EMP available. Going to put the Translocator back, but that's a huge one there from Mickey. Nomi and Dak both going down to the self-destruct. The Hail Mary play is worked out for the Dallas Fuel. Matt, it was then, or it was going to be never on this map.
And you know, if Nomi and Dak don't die there to that self-destruct, Dante is going to throw that Translocator, get right onto the point, land a huge EMP. It's a big self-destruct from Mickey. You can see, just throws it right in here by the Mega Health Pack. Really interesting.
Guess what happened? Taimu switched to Winston.
Yeah.
No more Hulk here, and now Dallas actually have the ability to get to grips with the Shock in general. It's made a big difference, and that's a good start. Dante's gone down. He did use the EMP in this fight, but it doesn't seem to really have perturbed AKM. He's found 2 kills already. Effect now standing on the point, daring someone to come forward and challenge him, and Baby Bay does appear. Low health on that Tracer. Gonna have to go back for the Mega Health Pack or wait for it to respawn, but Effect now steps off. He's found a Dima. Doesn't want to get too close to Nevix right now, and that's gonna be Chips getting blown up by both of the tanks on the Shock. They've isolated the Zenyatta, but there's more work to be done. AKM gets his third kill with a fight at the Helix rocket connection, and Effect brings out the blade. Baby Bay here, desperately trying to get away, but he needs to be on the point. So many things to be done at once here for the Shock. It all seems to be falling apart, and the Dallas Fuel finally have some rhythm and some groove. And they're only about a minute behind in overall time bank. Best case scenario there after what happened on that first point, Matt.
They looked much better once they switched off of that Roadhog Diva combination. Taimu went over to Winston. As soon as he switched over to Winston, they were able to take point A. Then he uses a big Primal Rage, knocks some players back. It's a good effect, Dragon Blade, and 2 big kills from AKM that allows them to get onto the point here. So,
in all fairness, it's not as if, oh, Dallas, you didn't get the point because you didn't play Winston. Then, oh, look, you got Winston there. Because it was obviously Mickey getting 3 kills in that fight. So, that makes a difference. But again, it was good to see that Winston sort of come back in.
They were able to use the Winston to get on that high ground, which forced the tanks from the Shock down.
Into the blast radius.
Into that blast radius. So,
well, I stand corrected.
Being able to use the Winston to just get up to the high ground, because what they were trying to do is just barrel through the door with the Roadhog that you see Baby Bay is right there, and the tanks from the Shock just stood up there. And then they would just go back down, get the Mega, go right back up, and they would just kind of alternate back and forth, and they'd have so much damage going through the door. Once Taimu was able to just jump on top behind them, it forced both tanks down, then AKM could get onto that high ground, then it forced them all the way into the back to play off that Mega.
So because of this now, the Fuel probably never really intended, I guess, to bring that Winston in. They wanted to make it work with the Roadhog. So now, they're adapting. They've had to adapt throughout the course of this map, and that's why the Winston now is in the lineup. So here, this may not be so planned. Now they're very much going on instinct, as pro gamers as they are. And they're going to be looking to try and get the point back. 3:23 on the clock for them to try and take this first point.
And you'll see Effect play Tracer, so no Genji here. From Effect, this is the hero that that we've seen him play his best at. He's going to go around on the flank. Oh, a nice move back there from Dak, and some shots
that's
from
rough.
Sleepy gets him weak again.
Oh no, the health pack's been hacked! Oh, in fact, he should have known! He was in enemy territory and Dante had his network of hacking set up. However, AKM's managed to take down Baby Bay. There won't be any resurrect here. It's only the fuel with the Mercy. And Dante's desperately trying to build up his EMP to maybe try and stop this fight, because if Dallas start get rolling, if they get somewhere, it's going to be hard for the Shock to come back in. But Nevix not really able to do too much more. AKM drops down Tactical Visor. This is the time to use it. No defense matrix in play. Easy targets for AKM, of course. Doesn't need good tracking. Gets rid of Nevix, of course, and the mech and the Dallas fuel break through.
And Nomi and Dante, they actually dive all the way in. They try and kill Effect. They actually hack Effect, and both of them can't kill them. It's just, you know, Taimu and I believe it was Mickey just go over, help Effect stay alive, as now it'll be the Dallas fuel with both support ultimates here. So, you know, they'll look to try and get set up on the high ground, but you know, Taimu on the Winston being so aggressive, diving in with Effect and Mickey already doing some damage.
Now, Effect playing forward aggressively with the use of that recall here, so he definitely wants to try and get a pick early in this fight. If Effect had got picked off, though, San Francisco could have tried to snowball that back in their favor. But that's by the by. There's a pulse bomb here. Transcendence now. Is an EMP thrown in the top, and San Francisco are throwing everything at the fuel to try and slow them down. It looks like it's worked, though. Effect and Taimu now missing. Dante having used an EMP should do the trick.
Yeah, and Harry ends up using his Valkyrie there. You probably would have liked to have it for one of those next fights. I feel like Valkyrie right now, with how slow Rez is, probably want to use it more offensively than on the defensive end. You're not able to get those Rezes as easy. At that time, they had already lost Taimu, and Effect was very low. He dies right after, but you did see Taimu actually pick up a big kill. I know he forced that Transcendence out from Sleepy, and then now it's AKM who takes out Baby Bay at the start, so maybe they'll be able to make some progress in the fight.
That's a huge Helix rocket that may have opened things up here, but Sleepy, that's a beautiful pick in response. The only way San Francisco could have released the pressure was by getting a pick back in response. The problem is there's a Mercy on the field. AKM is brought back to life. Chips may be down. Sleepy's been doing an excellent job of removing him from the Zen v Zen battle, but it may not be enough, Matt. A minute 30 here. Baby Bay returns to the fold. He removes Taimu, and now the Sound Barrier comes in with the EMP, but AKM's up perturbed again. The Tactical Visor. It's easy damage for this man. There's Nevix, though, the big burly bodyguard, and AKM's got to get out.
Yeah, it was two players stuck in that EMP. That's good enough to weather through AKM's Tactical Visor. Now with a minute 12 to go. Puts fuel behind the 8 ball here, Mitch. They do have Transcendence, right? You're going to have a Pulse Bomb here very shortly. It's just, you know, Dante's going to be able to build up to this EMP rather quickly, right? He's just going to go out, farm some damage. He's going to take some damage himself, go back. He's already at, what, 65%? You know, if Nomi takes any damage, goes back to that Mega, he's going to have this EMP very shortly.
Dante really extending that web of hacked health packs to ensure that he does get quick and consistent ultimates. And there's no way he won't have an EMP for this fight. Every fight pretty much has been able to have one, and that's big. Chips now goes for a preemptive Transcendence because he knows there's a good chance he'd get hacked anyway. Now it's for the fuel to use this healing to their advantage to press forward. EMP comes in after the fact. You can see that Dante is trying to chase down Harry Hook it was on the Mercy. He's fallen now, and his Shock just wiped the floor with them.
He has gotten so much value from these EMPs as Dante. 17 enemies EMP'd, an average ult charge time of 50 seconds. So basically an EMP every single fight, or towards the tail end of a fight.
Look at it, he's 44% again.
Yep. Yeah, he's going to get one again for this next fight. They'll have Transcendence, Harry Hook with Valkyrie.
He'll go get some free damage. We'll just go get some free damage on the support, force some cooldowns out. Again, look at his ult go up. He'll be pretty close to it here. They need to hold on for this fight. Now we're in overtime. Primal Rage for Taimu up on the point there, and most of the Shock is sticking together under the healing umbrella provided by Sleepy. They're back off now. A brief disengagement here from the Shock to wait for the fuels next to 10. That's the EMP. Dante did have it 3 fights in a row. Effect is down. He couldn't get away with any blink or recall because he was hacked up, and Taimu being brought back into the fight. Will that be enough to get the job done? A big body being brought back to life in this part of the game is very high value, but now they need to finish the job. Nevix desuited. AKM playing safe. You can see he's sitting back and now perhaps might want to come forward. Helix Rocket, very important here to get those instant picks, but the Sound Barrier is going to make it hard to break through the Shock here. They're looking pretty durable now, ready just to dig in for a long fight. Nomi drops onto the point, puts the barrier in, but he's down to half HP. He might be removed here.
Yeah, it'll be Chips using that Coalescence, keeping everybody healed up on the point. There the AKM taking out Baby Bay. The Dallas fuel starting to get going. You know, that first EMP didn't connect with with AKM. He was able to use that tac visor. Now he finishes it off with some kills. As the Dallas fuel will take point B. No time left in the timeout.
Surely beads of sweat forming on the brow of the Fuel there. It could have gone either way. Danto is such a problem for them. Again, walking into fights knowing there's a very good chance that all your abilities are going to get shut down at the most important moment. It's quite disconcerting and frustrating when it actually does happen.
AKM just stayed a little bit far away though. For that last EMP, it connects with 3 players. Then the Shock dive in, but AKM doesn't get hit by it. He pops Tac Visor at that time, and he's able to kill 2. And that allows some of the other members for the Fuel to stay alive. And they're able to push on to the point. Now all the pressure is, well, okay, so the pressure really is on the Shock, right? But it's really about how do the Fuel respond to the Widowmaker of Babybay. Because he was very good on Widowmaker in their first offensive set. It looks like the only change really you're going to see Taimu play Winston here, so he's going to be able to push him out a little bit more. The supports are going to be the same, and DPS going to be the same.
So Dallas fans right now should be hoping that the Fuel have been practicing that dive defense because they came into this map not expecting to use it, or at least that's how it seems to us. They start off with that Roadhog. Now they're playing the Winston, so as the map's gone that they've adjusted, they've evolved as it were. And obviously Time is hoping not to win any Darwin awards here, but again, they'll need some aggression from him to shut down players like Babybay, who just love getting a lot of space to work.
Well, the upside about having Time in the game, right, is he can play the Roadhog at a high level, but he's really transitioning into this main tank role. When XQC's in the lineup, you can see he has great decision-making of knowing when to jump a solo guy or when to jump on the opponents. It's really going to test Time here. It's going to be a big biotic grenade, though, from Chips that sets that up.
It's so easy for Timer to walk in and get a bit of damage. No healing possible or available for the Shock, and Harry almost has himself a sleep dart connection on Dante. Again, those first few kills will be enough here to end the fight early. And you can see the trio, AKM, Chips, and Harry, play close together. That leaves Taimu, Mickey, in effect, to be that second group that dive, the aggressiveness, the tip of the spear, as it were.
They've been really impressed with how deep Harry hooks hero pool in terms of supports has been in stage 2. Primarily, we've known him as a Lucio player coming in. He's played Ana at a very high level. Same with Zenyatta. Dante, though, never dies, so he ends up behind enemy lines on Tracer, just putting down some damage. This is a rough spot to be in because they're down low, right? You can get that high ground with the Widowmaker, but it's Taimu jumped them yet again, able to take out Babybay.
I'm pretty sure Harry hit him another fat Bionade there, Matt. You see all the health bars on the Shock just get chucked on down. Easy pickings. Now they're going to chase this one up. This is big. Nomi falling down. Dak getting charged down. It's going to be the cleaning crew now. Extra ult percent, extra time, shaved off the clock. The San Francisco Shock need to come up with a response, and Babybay is switching to 76 in an effort to remediate this conundrum.
And towards the end there was another Bionade from Harry. He connects onto Nomi and Nevix as they're trying to exit out. Those players fall. You'll have a Nano Blade here for the Dallas Fuel if they decide to get extremely aggressive, as they're kind of split into 2 groups of 3, with Effect playing with Taimu and Mickey a little bit forward, and then you see both supports here playing with AKM in the back.
Okay, so this trio has moved across. They're going from the right side, and now they're back on the left. So they've switched sides here, which means they will allow the Shock to get in. Harry doesn't connect with that sleep dart. AKM's not far away, but now, again, that front line of the Dallas Fuel comes colliding with the Shock. But Sleepy finds Harry Hook. Again, these long-range picks are insane. This guy creates opportunities that otherwise should not be there from hitting these incredible Zenyatta shots across the map, and now Effect needs to step up. No Nano Boost used quite yet. It might be for the Nano Visor here, but AKM's also used that. So it's got to be Taimu receiving it then. Dak getting taken down. We know the man doesn't love playing Mercy. It's always a struggle for him. Oh no, Taimu late on the bubble, and Babybay was quicker on the trigger finger.
That's a tough fight for the Fuel. When you lose Harry early, he has that Nano Boost. You're not able to give it to either AKM or Effect, and you have to invest all your other ultimates to hold on to the point here. Just waste some time. The Shock with just more players in that spawn advantage should be able to take point A here. It's coming very soon. As it's going to be Babybay getting close to Attack Visor. You're going to have Primal Rage and a Self-Destruct. It'll be just the Nano Boost online here for the Fuel. Chip switches over to Sombra. So we're going to see the Sombra for point B for Dallas.
Let's see how he sets up with that one. He cannot get caught out without his translocator available. He needs to play safe now, as the Shock's going to take a lot of space, a lot of real estate away as they try and use his top right platform.
Nomi is snuck behind enemy lines. That'll be Attack Visor coming in from Babybay, and that's actually a phenomenal play by Nomi. When he snuck behind enemy lines, he jumped to the top, knocked Harry Hook up from the high ground.
Easy target for the Attack Visor.
Easy target at that moment.
So nasty. Oh, it's all working out for the Shock now. Chips actually gets pulse bomb, which is not something that should ever happen to a Sombra. So something must have gone wrong for Chips there. It's going to be Mickey now sitting in the side room, and there's very little he can do from there except just get staggered. Here come the reinforcements, but it might not be the kind of cavalry that Fuel need right now. Mickey desuited, effects on the point. He's at an MP from Chips high, but where's the capitalization? There's no follow-up for it at all. Now the Transcendent's been committed to the fight here for Sleepy. AKM desperately attempting to make something happen here with the Reaper, but again it's hard. 1v6 as essentially as it was at that moment. Difficult to make any sort of inroads, and there it is. This is big for the Shock because they've got 4 checkpoints too. The difference is they've got time in the bank.
That was such a sick play from Nomi. I don't know how he got all the way around there on the flank without anybody from the Fuel recognizing. He's basically by the right spawn door of Dallas on the defensive end. And as soon as Baby uses that tech visor, Harry Hook obviously wants to go inside. He would have been able to actually heal people like on an angle, just diagonally. But Nomi jumps right up top. Just the force from the Winston's leap just kind of pushes him forward. Down, he's able to take out Harry. And then he also holds on to his Primal Rage, which comes up clutch there at the end.
I mean, you know that he was 100% dead there, Harry Hook. I mean, you're Anna, right? You can't fade away, you can't run off, you can't wall ride. If you get knocked down, especially out into the open there, it was a perfect setup. The Shock had already assumed a bit of a high ground position just on the right side of the entrance to that second point. So they had everything there, but the key, you're right, it was Nomi going in there. Displacement, distraction, disruption, all things that Winston does very well in that case. Nicely done by the Shock. And now, Matt, all they need to do, get the first tick on this first point, and it will take map 1.
We'll see Dak probably play, wonder if he plays Lucio or Mercy here. Right now, has Mercy selected probably for that damage boost, and obviously the big healing that you'd probably provide Baby Bay as you try and force up towards that high ground. Also, the resurrection could be huge here.
Sleepy's had a great map so far. I mean, his picks have been so big.
Yeah, I mean, his pick against Harry allowed him to take point A, which the Fuel defense was looking very good up until that point.
The Shock move in. Notice that they're somewhat split. They haven't quite decided. So it's going to be the right side that they go up on. They need to watch out for Harry Hook's biotic grenades being thrown in here. You can see across the way, Chips is also trying to throw orbs in. You can just get an easy kill somewhere. Move forward. Again, a lot of ground being taken by the Shock here. They're ready to set up.
Well, the Shock realize that the Fuel are set up with their own 76 on that left side high ground. So what do? They get control of the Mega Health Pack. Obviously, it would have been great like if there was a Sombra on the other side, right? Prevent her from hacking it yet again, but they'll force their way onto the point here as Baby Bay just trying to get some ult charge here. He's going to get very close to attack visor soon if the guys from the Fuel just keep coming out taking this damage.
Vicky waiting. Oh no, AKM! Oh, that would have been nasty. He's eaten a Helix rocket from Baby Bay. Still alive though. Good response from his healers to keep him up, and actually AKM turns around and gets rid of Dante. Nicely done from the Fuel. Good response to something that could have been catastrophic.
And it's only going to be 15 seconds left here as Harry's got a nano boost. You're going to have Valkyrie and Tac Visor for the San Francisco Shock. Who is going to get a touch here? It's got to be Nomi.
Baby Bay coming with a tactical visor. This is where things need to start happening, but Mickey's standing on the low ground. He's going to eat most of the Tac Visor damage down. He's going to try and chase Baby Bay. He's so low. Eventually he's removed. Taimu now getting involved in the fight, and AKM standing proud on the point. Removes Dak from the game there. Helix rocket followed up with a little bit of extra damage, and now it's just Sleepy and Dante together. They're going to try and back away and not get staggered. Sleepy's got a bit of room to breathe. He gets bio-grenaded. We had a draw in our first map here. The Fuel hang on despite some very rough circumstances.
Obviously not a lot of time for San Francisco to attack there, but it really just came down to that one fight. They end up losing a player. They have to wait. There's about 13 seconds left on the clock. It allows the Fuel to bank some ultimates, and they're never really able to get a great, maybe 2 attempts there at the point, right? You would have liked to have one quick fight if you're the Shock and then regroup again and have another. They're never able to do that.
Credit to the Fuel though for coming in and changing their game plan midway through, realizing they needed the Winston, and they worked around it well. That's what kept them in this one. And it's a good sign for the rest of this series, ladies and gentlemen. We've got some quality Overwatch coming right at you.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. And by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League.
Effect is a hit scan god. Effect ends this next fight before it starts.
Effect reigns supreme. The man is a monster.
Oh, it's an Effect. He says, bring me another.
한국에 에임이 좋은 선수가 한 명 있는데 그 선수가 에이미어를 하는 거 보고 따라하고 오스도 하고 따라하다 보니까 이게 굳어버린 건데 아침에 연습실에 처음 오면은 이제 조용하기도 하고 저 혼자만 이렇게 집중할 수 있어서 좀 더 연습에 확실히 효과가 더 있거든요. 그래서 오스를 1시간 정도 하고 오스는 제 손을 제대로 풀게 만들어주고요. 제가 원래는 FPS 유저가 아니라서 그 에임이 다른 사람에 비해 많이 딸렸어요. 그래서 딜러를 하기 위해서 이런 연습을 많이 했거든요. 에이미어로도 30분에서 1시간 사이를 하고 항상 한 30분 이상만 해도 지루한 게임인데 지루해도 참고 해야죠. 확실히 에임에 느는 건 확실합니다. 오버워치 내 캐릭터를 상대로 에임 연습을 한다고 생각하면 실제 실전에 돌입하기 전에 뭔가 잊어버린 감 같은 거 찾는 거죠. 그래서 에임 연습하기에는 정말 좋죠. 프로게이머는 이제 연습을 안 하면은 실력이 계속 죽기 때문에 꼭 중요하고 이렇게 큰 대회에서도 하려면은 이 정도도 안 하면 이렇게 큰 오버워치 리그에 올 수가 있겠었습니까 제가?
It's a bonanza for Effect. Who's next?
You just take it. All right.
Impressive individual, isn't this guy? I mean, Effect puts so much time into his practice routine, and I think XQC has also talked about it on his stream before. He said, "Man, this guy Effect practices so much. We all want to try and do the right thing by him by also practicing as well." So he has an impact on the rest of his team just from how strict his routine.
Yeah, I mean, he sets the standard for his team, right? I mean, he plays at such a high level all the time. You see the work that he puts in, outside of just their normal scrims and obviously the league matches. It's interesting though that they don't play Rascal map number 1. I was actually thinking about that. If they're going to play Genji, most of the time, you could have also had him play Sombra as well. But we got XQC coming in for Taimu. Will play the main tank for map number 2.
Okay, so wondering where that killer edge was going to come from. The true aggression. Well, you found it now. So Taimu being subbed out after, in my opinion, a good performance on Winston. I mean, he switched to that hero sort of at the point where his team. Oh, not to enjoy a bit of XQC. Yeah, he came in with that Winston when his team needed it and it worked out. But now, of course, Lijiang Tower, definitely a map where we need to see that Winston. We need to see that initiation and dive.
Yeah, and I think that's what he'll bring to this team, right? A lot of aggression. He's going to keep pushing up. It's just a matter of, whether they got with them or not, right? I mean, a lot of the time, they maybe sit in the back with AKM on the 76 when he feels like the rest of them should be coming on in. Really, I think it's about him and Mickey getting on the same page. We saw it, obviously, a very long time ago during the preseason. They looked very good together. A lot of time passes since then, a lot of just different changes for the Dallas Fuel roster since then, but see if they can get some of that synergy back.
So you see, Mickey will be that tank line. And this is a map where, we might see Effect maybe just go back to the Tracer that we normally see him on. His Genji wasn't terrible, statistically speaking, in the previous map. He had about 9 final blows to AKM's 18. So AKM was definitely finishing a lot more of those kills. And, Genji is a character that does get that, that finisher in the same way that Tracer does. So maybe not the strongest Genji performance from Effect, but again, he was being mitigated quite heavily by Nevix, who was like Baby Bay's big old bodyguards.
Yeah, I feel like with Genji players, we usually see it's whether very low final blows or final blows pretty much just with their Dragon Blades, right? Or it's like just a lot of poke damage with either a Tracer finishing off the kills or like a 76 finishing.
Part of the 1-2 punch, right?
Yeah.
That early damage McCree or 76, chunk people down and they get the Genji in there to get the job done. But it's time for Lijiang Tower. Night Market's where it all begins. XQC in for the Dallas Fuel. Let's see what he brings to the table now. See the Fuel out, and of course, the signature blue.
You see, they just poke around the corner there. It's a Baby Bay who takes out Effect right away. That's interesting because XQC walks out, he takes a ton of damage from range, and then he walks back around the corner. Looks like they may have opted to play around the point. Effect still out there on his own, gets picked off early.
50% win rate for the Shock on control, so perhaps flipping a bit of a coin here against the Fuel. We haven't had good experiences on control in general, Matt. It's probably been their weakest game type, I'll be completely honest with you. XQC wants to go in, you can see him champion the bit. Look at that, straight over. Get himself a bit of extra HP and back into the fray. Oh, that's it, Effect! What are you doing? 3 kills, this guy is nutty. Pulse Bomb comes in, he even finishes Dante off. So early, it's the first fight. He already had himself a Pulse Bomb. That's just, he's got 35% of his team's damage after that fight.
And that's a tough fight to lose for the Shock. You have Baby Bay who picks up effect early. You probably get control of the point, right? You have 6 players on it. It's just the aggression that comes in from the Fuel. This is how you want to see them play. It's 1 kill from effect, a pulse bomb, and that's also going to be the kill of the Nevix as well.
Oh, our resident Osu Master now starting to show up. Baby Bay with the tactical visor, most of which was mitigated, I feel, by Mickey's defense matrix.
Yeah, it was actually XQC who jumps in his face, takes a bunch of damage, and then Mickey comes in with the defense matrix to eat up the rest. As see the Dallas Fuel should be able to still hold on to the point here. It'll be Nevix using his self-destruct just to get a D-Mac back. Baby Bay will fall. Dak will speed boost the rest of the Shock out of there.
Oh, it's a bit of a thonker here for the Shock, Matt. Losing a couple players, not being allowed to get position here. Notice, should I say, just how far forward Mickey's standing, where Effect was. They're actually going to try and hold them at the door and give AKM as much space as possible here to get safe damage done, which would be capitalized upon by Effect. Here's a Transcendence, though.
Yeah, it'll be XQC using the Primal Rage, just knocking Sleepy away from some of his teammates. It'll be Chips using his own Transcendence here, trying to keep the players of the Fuel topped up on the point. AKM has Attack Visor as well. Both support ults have been used by the Shock already.
Dak's very low. Nomi has to go for the Primal Rage, who's getting chucked down way too quickly by AKM's Tactical Visor. That's now expired, and AKM did see Nomi out in the distance. This is not where you want to be right now. Not when there's a white Primal Rage Winston in play. That's Baby Bay straight to the feet. Effect having them cut out from under him with the Helix Rocket. And now Harry just to stall for a little bit here. He actually found Baby Bay in that fight somehow. Cheeky boot. Harry Hook getting it done. Big throw back to those Lucio days. It's good to see him return to them. So while Dallas Fuel have lost the fight, Matt, 85% already, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's still phenomenal progress here for the Fuel, and so they have a little bit of an advantage in terms of support ult percentage. Harry Hook will get close to that sound barrier, and then maybe you're able to just bully your way to the point, but you know, both Tracers with pulse bombs. It could make a huge difference at the beginning of these fights if they're able to pick 1 kill off. It'll be Dante throwing his out, trying to hit the back of that mech.
Now, trying to give him a new bumper sticker. I think he's already got enough of them on there. Most of them are unintelligible, but that's fine. Nevix still going in. Oh, Micro Rockets could have gotten the job done, but Mickey's still able to get resuited now. Everyone's going to back away from the self-destruct. Chip swings on him like Tarzan out of the days of yore and gets Nevix with that headshot. San Francisco tried for a lot of shenanigans in that fight, and none of them worked whatsoever. Dallas Fuel looking very tight right now, Matt.
Yeah, the Fuel able to hold on to 1 support ult. So they came into the fight with both Sound Barrier and Transcendence. They held on to Transcendence. And it's going to be big because Dak is going to get his Sound Barrier, most likely keep Sleepy alive long enough to get his own Transcendence. But Nomi falls right at the beginning here at 99%. It'll be Dak using his Sound Barrier, trying to keep some players up on the point.
Effect perhaps primed for a special delivery, or maybe he won't even need it. Baby Bay trying to force his way back in, and Dak turns around, gives AKM the boop of a lifetime. As Hex would put it, he'd have tinnitus after that one. But Effect is now looking for an opportunity to use his pulse bomb. He'll likely save it. Mickey's in the middle of the map, and XQC using a Primal Rage there. Back away. Mickey needs to make sure he doesn't get staggered. He actually managed to get back to the rest of his team as well. He was standing where Nevix was, so
and the Fuel still have Transcendence, so there's nothing that the Shock have that's going to kind of be able to get through that Zenyatta ultimate. It'll be
the captain.
XQC diving into the back, forces Sleepy out, and they have taken the point.
As the pulse bomb kills Sleepy, he's going to fall down. Effect just catches him on the way through. And that should really be impossible to come back from for the Shock. P-Suit here on Nevix will be dispatched. Effect's having an insane round right now. What a performance from him. The rest of the Fuel got to be feeling good about that one. 17 eliminations, 7 final blows, 2 deaths for Effect. That's astonishing to me, especially when there's about 25, final blows in general over the Dallas Fuel. So Effect is really lifting. AKM couldn't get a piece of the action. He got 1 final blow. Effect was getting it all done.
I mean, we've seen this from Effect in the past. It's just they haven't really been able to get the team to work around him throughout all of the season thus far. Really see it that often. I mean, we know what this guy can do. He's absolutely nuts on Tracer. Tracer is such a big hero that you need great production in the meta. He definitely brings it. It's just whether you can get everybody else around him to play well. AKM will play Pharah right now. I don't know if we've seen his Pharah so far through an Overwatch League, but his Pharah is very good. I think briefly.
Not a lot of it, probably on this map if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, before that he played a lot of it at the World Cup last year, and that was really good. Very impressive from him when I kind of thought it was one of his weakest DPS choices. However, XQC down early here. AKM just needs to duck down and avoid some of the damage. These rockets aren't quite finding their mark here. So his presence probably isn't being felt so much by the Shock right now, and it shows. The Shock can lean into the fight. Sleepy gets himself 2 quick kills there on the Zenyatta, which is no mean feat, of course, but he kind of does it all the time anyway.
And AKM switches right off of it, so he goes over to 76.
And about that life, fam.
Yeah, Baby Bay on the opposing side playing Soldier. You also have Sleepy playing Zen. Not hitting those rockets at the start. He decides, you know what, let's not play around. Let me go back to 76. It'll be Effect getting on the point here. Just trying to force some members back from that bridge, potentially, which he does. And now it's going to allow all the members of the Fuel to get closer to the point.
Effect's lurking. Pulse bomb in hand. I'm sure he's itching to use Sleepy. Oh, Sleepy. Oh, what clip! That's beautiful. Effect didn't even have to use the pulse bomb, but now he's going to use it. That should help a lot with the damage there. It wasn't quite enough to get the full D-suit on Nevix, but now that's the tactical visor in for Baby Bay. He knows he needs to try and reverse his team's fortunes quickly as possible. Chips hangs around for a little bit too long. It's a lot of damage from the attack itself, and then a Helix rocket. Nicely done by Baby Bay. AKM, struggle city for you, my friend. Population you, and maybe the rest of your team. And the Fuel haven't had control of the point yet this round. Very much the opposite of what we saw in Night Market.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, Baby Bay kind of balanced him out a little bit there, right? I mean, you lose Sleepy right away.
Oh, there it is again!
Chips again at the beginning of one of these fights. They'll get rezzed up by Harry Hook. Interesting, they're not playing the Lucio here. You know, Lucio very good with that speed boost to just get, you know, whether it's across that bridge or all the way around towards that point. They're going to play Mercy here. Obviously, the res is beneficial, but man, Sleepy is able to just load these Zen's orbs up and just hit people from range. He's already got a Transcendence yet again.
I'd love to see his first kill percentage at some point. The trickiest stat to dig out, but this guy always seems to start these fights and kind of end them in the same vein. Sleepy getting left upon by XQC. Primal Ranger now. It's going to be a self-destruct release out into the courtyard. The Transcendence won't protect people from that, but it doesn't really seem to bottle the Shock. They huddle away in safety. Baby Vegas got beaten up across the map by XQC, but again, there's Sleepy. He's found AKM. Dante now is adding damage into the mix here. He doesn't really have to finish any of these kills, but Effect is outdoing him on the other side. Matt. He's found Nomi. Dante now needs to get out of the fight. And AKM and Effect really make him life hard. Dante thinking he can sneak by like that? I don't think so.
Yeah, the Shock get it though, to where it'll be just one fight and they'll be able to swing the point back in their favor and then ultimately take this stage. And it was a nice play. You know, XQC and Effect working well together. He used that Primal Rage. He was knocking players back, just trying to get one out of the point. They get Baby Bay isolated. Effect comes right in, takes him out, and then they work their way back towards that point.
XQC realizes he's been on more than he can chew. That's Chips from downrange. Baby Bay had grand designs, Matt. He wanted to really make some waste, or lay waste, with that tactical visor and never got the charge. You saw him frustrated, leaning back in his chair. This is the world we live in. It's Zenyatta's Occupy, and when you've got Chips and Sleepy on either side, these things are just gonna happen.
Let's see if Dante can get anything done with this pulse bomb. He's got XQC and Effect just starting on the point. They get XQC low and see if they just jump on this kill in the back. As you see the rest of the members from the Shock work their way around that right-hand side. That's exactly what they did. They get an AKM, but it's going to get res right up. It'll be Dak using his sound barrier as well.
Shock don't mind using both of their support ultimates here because they only need to win this fight and they'll win the round. And it looks like that investment has paid off. The Dallas Fuel were on a knife edge and didn't have the margin of error. The Shock, however, are looking good. They paved the way with a strong start to the round and Nomi's starting to get ham. Beautiful moment from him. I think 3 Primal Rage kills to end the round, and now we're going all the way. This series, Matt, has shaped up to be a very close one. Lijiang, no exception. Command Center, the final stage.
Yeah, right now everybody, when you kind of look at some of the stats here, you know, everybody was kind of on par with each other, except, you know, XQC doubling Nomi in terms of, you know, well, he was in terms of final blows. They're pretty close now after that little spree that Nomi went on the end here, but you know,
just getting in there, isn't he?
AKM versus Baby Bay was the other matchup that I'm looking at, where AKM sitting with, you know, 12 Olymps, Baby Bay 22, Baby Bay with 9 final blows, AKM 3. So Baby Bay has done a very nice job in that hit scan role against AKM, one of the best in the league.
These are not matches that either of these teams can afford to lose at this stage, especially if they want to remain contenders as the season continues, man.
Dallas is going to run triple tank here. You're going to see Effect play Zarya. It's a really good Zarya. We don't see it often, but watch how fast he's going to be able to get charged up.
We had double McCree as well. That's a lot of fun. AKM, but both Baby Bay both known for that pick. AKM maybe even more so back in the day, but Baby Bay strikes blood first. He's found 2 kills. The Moira is hard to hit, I'll be honest with you, but he still finds his target. And it's all well and good for Effect to have a lot of charge, but when he's missing teammates, he won't be able to employ that charge and turn it into good damage and kills, man.
Yeah, I mean, he gets 80 charge right away, but he drops, so he'll get set all the way back to 0 as the Dallas Fuel have to just march on in. It's huge that Baby Bay is able to get these picks, right? Because you would figure the McCree, who's playing, you know, behind that Reinhardt shield, and obviously has that Zarya to protect him, let him walk forward a little bit, but we would be the one dealing a little bit more damage at the beginning.
Babybay single-handedly dismantled the Fuel in that fight with those 2 picks. There's no coming back from that. Now, XQC, that shield's in the way. XQC, bomb was placed on the outside of the shield, so we just aimed it down, and he was fine. Chips a little bit low on HP, and Dante's forced into a bit of a recall. Gets a little bit of easy damage there on towards Mickey and Babybay, hoping for a Deadeye. Nevix trying to protect him with the defense matrix as he channeled that ability, but there was no kills to be found for the gunslinger here for the Shock. Babybay might just get it done the old-fashioned way. AKM super low, and Chips is getting picked up by Sleepy. The long-range damage is so sick. Sleepy's just going nuts. Unbelievable from this man. Consistent carnage being delivered by him all series.
Yeah, with the Fuel composition right now, what is their strategy? They really just kind of feel like
okay, Sleepy.
They have to walk up onto the point behind that Reinhardt shield. They're able to break it pretty quick. You know, Sleepy's able to get another kill at the beginning of a fight. You're not really able to get a great push onto the point. Babybay did use a Deadeye there. You know, buy them a few seconds. He's going to get another Deadeye here yet again. But now the Fuel have a ton of ultimates to use here. Let's see if XQC can hit a big Earthshatter.
So what identity of the Fuel are we going to get on this round, Matt? So far, it's not been, well, the most ideal. That Pulse Bomb was placed well, but there was a shield there. XQC lays the hammer down, but an immediate Transcendence will prevent him from really being able to follow up on that properly. There's no point charging into that. You're going to get blown up yourself. Coalescence is there for Chips, but the Shock have a lot of ultimates themselves. Dak and the Sound Barrier would be a nice one, but Nomi and Sleepy have already been sent off the edge, and there's no point for the Shock to invest ultimates further in this fight. XQC, again, trying to connect with whatever he can, getting closer to the next Earthshatter. Is one at the start of that fight. Didn't really hit the sweet spot for the Fuel.
Yeah, Fecht was able to take out Sleepy during that fight as well. Sleepy gets pushed all the way back as Fecht realizes he's got a Zen 1v1. I'll take him out. It's going to be Mickey here with a Graviton Surge. You land a good grab. You have a couple lessons to use with it. Babybay behind enemy lines with Dante.
There's a pick here, surely. Chips, one shot. He'd be in dangerous territory if he takes any more damage. Effects forced to recall. Oh! Across the map. AKM shuts Babybay down, and that's going to be the Graviton Surge. Dak gets caught in it, but no one's really paying attention to him right now. AKM forced to give a lot of ground there. He was down to about 40 HP. 3 members on the Fuel got smashed by Babybay, but he didn't complete the kills.
If he was able to get that kill on a Chips, they may have been able to get to the point, flip it in their favor, maybe even battle through that Graviton Surge. Mickey did use that ultimate. You're going to have Primal Rage. You're going to have a Pulse Bomb. You're going to have Sound Barrier. Sound Barrier is the big one here for the Shock. They need a big one.
Nice boop there. It's going to be half an over to get to his target. That's a nice stick, though. XQC going to be down to a slither of HP. He's quickly being healed up right now, but it's going to take some time. There's not a lot of burst healing for the Dallas Fuel to get their Reinhardt back in the fray, and he's just going to dive in. AKM has fallen to Nomi. Their Primal Rage making it impossible for him to have any presence. Couldn't use the flash, clearly. XQC, low at the start of the fight. Now removed by Sleepy. And that's it. The Dallas Fuel have lost control of the point, and it's just affecting AKM on the outer to try and get back in.
And Fecht's got to get a touch. He barely gets to the point. He's dealt with quickly there by Nevix.
Roll
Harry Hook, and AKM trying to get to it. Harry gets a touch. It'll be a Transcendence that comes out here for the Shock as Mickey gets onto the point.
Biotic Orb there to keep Mickey nice and healthy as he pushes in, and XQC, that's a better Earthshatter from him, no doubt. Unfortunately, where was the follow-up ever going to be? The rest of the Dallas Fuel are still trying to run and get on the point. Mickey only lasts for a couple of seconds before he's taken down by the Pulse Bomb, and the San Francisco Shock get their first map win of this series to make it 1-0 at the half. Hard-fought victory here on Lijiang Tower, but they recover beautifully after round 1.
And Babybay was 6. Dante as well for the Shock. The DPS players really turning up. The 37 limbs for Dante, 36 for Babybay. 20 final blows between the two of them. They really showed up here. Swing Lijiang Tower in the Shock's favor.
Must-win territory, man, for both of these two teams. Neither can really afford to let this one slip. And right now, it shows chomping the bit and trading blows. Let's see how it all comes out in the wash after the break. We'll be back.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. And by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network.
The San Francisco Shock had their chance on Volskaya, but they couldn't seal the deal. However, they did take Lijiang Tower and find themselves up 1-0 going into the break. Welcome, everyone. I'm Golden Boy here alongside with Brendan Sideshow. And, I think just what a topsy-turvy game. What an exciting game.
Exciting.
And close as well. You got to give Bren some credit. He didn't know who to pick, but that's fair enough because this game was really close.
I just realized this. You didn't know who to pick. And the first game was a tie.
Well, I predicted it all along.
Maybe you're not the worst analyst ever.
I always knew it was going to go to a tie first map, hence why I was a bit stuck in my prediction. They don't call me the Oracle for nothing.
They don't call you the Oracle.
They do.
No, actually.
In the future.
They'll
be calling me
You've
the
seen
Oracle.
that they call you
I've
the
seen
Oracle.
that they will eventually
Who
call
are
me the
they?
Oracle.
Who's the they?
Just
here?
the masses.
The masses.
The people.
Sure.
You know, in the future, when eventually the OWL tokens becomes the sole currency of the world, eventually they will call me the Oracle.
Forget Bitcoin. Forget Litecoin.
Forget all of that. It's all about the OWL tokens.
It is
Buy
OWL
into it
tokens.
right now.
That's right. That's what we got. Hey, get on the currency, man. We got to make it happen. All right. Well, let's actually break down this game here, talking about Volskaya. And, I need some insights.
You do?
Powered by Intel. That's right, Brand. What you got for me, buddy?
Well, today I want to talk about Nomi the Gatekeeper. That's what my reference is. It's not even a reference. He is just gatekeeping for them. Pay attention to this gen here. That's who we're going to be watching. He's got his Primal Rage popped off, but the important notes to make and to really pay attention to is AKM and Harry Hook. These two guys, they got their Nano Boost, they got the Tactical Visor. They're about to unleash absolute havoc across the battlefield, but not quite, because Nomi is ready for it. He's ready to just jump straight into the back lines and protect this entire area right here. That is an arrow, mate. Well done, I have drawn it, and here we go. The Primal Rage just battering AKM around like a wet sock. And he's get anything done at all. And a nice little cheeky play. I pointed out as well because you can see this all play out here. He's using the shield to maximum efficiency. Here comes the Primal Rage again. He realizes they're going to be having this. And I've just been dead impressed with Nomi, to be honest, these past two games. I mean, this is a guy at the start of the league that we were saying hasn't been performing on a high enough level. And in this game, he has stepped it up. He's playing and he's competing against some of the best tanks in the league.
Yeah, I would agree with that, actually. I feel like we were previously, historically, saying that San Francisco's tank line was where they were struggling, but I think they've got the better end of Dallas over the course of this match so far. It's actually been Taimu or XQC and then Mickey that have had the more passive approach to the game, have been bullied a little bit. They're not setting the tempo. So, yeah, I think that Nomi's had a good performance here.
Yeah, but now, on the other side of that one, though, right, you have some pretty solid DPS performances from both sides of the team.
And
here, but I know you want to talk about
I think
Fuel.
this plays into the fact that they are playing these more, I think they call it reactive style at the beginning, but basically they're playing pretty passive. And so it has allowed AKM and Babybay to have big performances because the whole of their team is building around them. We've got AKM highlights here, and what you'll see is that Dallas Fuel are building their entire team around him. They run effect on the Genji or effect on the Tracer, but he's really there just to do his own thing. They don't tend to coordinate that much aggression, and they're massively prioritizing keeping AKM alive, using a lot of ultimates around him as well. But when it goes wrong, it goes pretty badly wrong. And the fact they have no aggression just allows guys like Babybay to go wild. Dallas Fuel really struggle against Widowmaker compositions. And that was what let San Francisco Shock just start rolling through, is that they're not coordinating. Even when they're running the Genji, they're not coordinating aggressive dives onto Babybay. So both of these guys are having big star performances so far.
Yeah, but I think, that leads to something very interesting here, and it's in a little segment that we like to call Where's Rascal? Exactly, where is he? Actually, no, seriously, where's Rascal?
I do know the answer to this one. He's currently in the dugouts.
Oh, that was your joke?
That's terrible.
That was the joke. You hyped up the entirety of the first half.
Yeah.
I hate you. I actually dislike the ground you walk on right now. You don't pick teams. You make just these horrendous.
Just go with the flow, Golden Boy. Don't worry about it.
On top of that, you're like an awful
Just ask me
Genji.
questions, and I will respond with the right answers. Again, I actually don't even say that about my Genji. I just realized what you just said.
To peel the pressure away from Bren a little bit, I'll actually try and answer your question.
Thank you, Josh.
Because it is weird, right, that they weren't running Rascal, even though they've got a Genji in the composition. My theory is that Effect can run the Genji and he can run the Tracer. And the Tracer is definitely a higher level than what we've seen from Rascal. So maybe they just want the added flexibility in their lineup. The thing is, AKM's the guy that's kind of making you a bit rigid because you have to play around his Soldier 76. Maybe if they ran Rascal in effect, they'd have more pressure on the dives. They can run that kind of composition. That's what I would like to see, or at least running Rascal and AKM.
I'd agree with that, honestly, to be honest, because it is one-dimensional with AKM is running the Soldier 76. And I agree with your theory, your personal little theorem.
What is that?
That they...
Oh, for the flexibility.
Exactly,
yes.
the flexibility aspect. I completely lost your
I saw
point.
the steam coming off of your head there. Just saw...
This is how I test whether Bren's listening to me. He's like, I like that theory.
I like that theory.
What was the theory?
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? No, but it's all valid points. And I mean, Dallas, they're already one map down now. They need to start to make a few adjustments if they're coming into this. We've already seen them make adjustments with XQC in a second map, and we've got a few little highlights that we can play as well as that, so we can talk about that. Look at that transition. I mean, I should be hosting this desk right
I think
now.
that's probably going to end up happening eventually.
But
the way we're going.
Again, like we were talking about the DPS to begin with in map 1, Effect definitely turned up quite significantly so actually in this initial round. In fact, clutching out many opportunities for Dallas to take this first round.
Yeah, but it kind of crumbled for them when they went on to the next one as well. And I think, again, we're seeing that, yes, Effect is so powerful. He's such a great player, great person as well.
Just a great person. Just a great guy.
But the issue is that when they lose control of the points in a lot of these situations, they have a lot of difficulty being able to retake. I think one of the problems here, again, we're harping on it again, is coordinating aggression between their tank and Effect. I want to see Effect's nickname was the one-man army because he was just going around blasting everybody when he was on Tracer.
Yeah.
You can't win if you're a one-man army. You need a little bit of support. Just if they are able to coordinate something with Effect so that he's diving in at the same time as XQC, or they have Mickey playing a little more aggressively alongside him, I think they can get a lot more work done.
Yeah.
But at the moment, they're so passive.
Yeah, well done. Good job.
Yeah, good job. I do want to say, though,
hire me as coach.
whoever has that fries one, that's an excellent sign. That is like a top 10.
We have good
sign
signs
right there.
today. I feel like the sign game has been stepped up quite significantly.
If there is one thing that the Overwatch League
Mayhem
does so
aren't
right,
playing today.
it's our fans and the sign.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome. Give yourselves a round of applause.
Yeah.
You're good.
Please do.
You're good. You're right.
It's okay. Golden
good
Boy
people.
gave you permission.
I give you permission to clap. That is the role of the host. Okay, you'll be in this seat one day.
Possibly.
Because you're definitely not going to last as an analyst too long with the rate that you're going.
I can't actually
Make
respond to it.
Make a prediction. Who's going to win?
Listen, I fought long and hard about this prediction. In the pre-show, I was certain of it. And even now, I feel like we're going to have to wait until the post-game for my proper prediction.
Oh, gee. Dear Lord,
I'll know for definite then.
I have to work with you.
No, you don't.
And it is just a crumbling experience.
I'll
All right.
complete the month.
So, guys, we are having a lot of fun over here. We hope you are as well. And this matchup has been amazing as well. And currently, the San Francisco Shock are up 1-0 over the Dallas Fuel. But can the Fuel answer back? Can they tie it up 1-1 and potentially win this series? Don't go anywhere. Plenty more Overwatch League when we return.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Sour Patch Kids. Sour, sweet, gone.
Now, Dallas held their ground on that first map, but San Francisco pulled off the win on Lijiang Tower. All they need is one more map victory to take home the victory. Can they do it? I don't know. Let's find out and go to the casters.
Thank you very much, Aaron. Important point being made there, Matt. With that first map being a draw, the San Francisco Shock only need one map win from the next two to take the whole series.
Which I think it would be a bit, I would call that a bit of an upset, right? I think a lot of people came into today expecting the Fuel to get back on that winning track yet again. Although coming off of a tough week last week where they go 0-2.
Well, I mean, last time these two faced off, I believe it was the Fuel who came out on top.
Yeah, so we go to Kings Row. Coming up next, we have no substitutions for either teams. The Shock doesn't make any substitutions, not surprising.
Not really a thing they ever have done.
So the Fuel, we will not see Taimu come back in. We won't see Cusso or Rascal. So
okay,
I know we won't see either of those players as far. I believe every player has played for the Fuel in Stage 2 outside of Coco. I believe we haven't seen Coco.
We haven't seen him yet. That's right. So saving that, that more ponderous or passive tank maybe for a rainy day, as it were. Kings Row map. I mean, we love this map, don't we? We enjoy it. It's the quintessential map of Overwatch, and we get this unique Zarya, Reinhardt, McCree, Junkrat, even Widow's thrown in the mix there. We get Hanzo, we get all the good stuff here.
I mean, you can play everything in terms of tanks on this map, right? I mean, you can play Orisa on defense, you can play Roadhog, obviously, throughout the map. We see a lot of Reinhardt. Zarya, obviously, D.Va and Winston always playable. I know a lot of sniper play. We see just so much versus just a lot of different heroes that can be played on this map in all roles.
That's the fun part, right? We won't see the same comps played up against each other. The heroes that are required on defense often differ to attacking compositions, especially on that first point. And we're going to see XQC on that Reinhardt, which, in all fairness, was maybe not the hero that he rose to prominence on, but is a very, very solid pick for him. If you watch his stream, you will see that he has a lot of big games on it. He understands the hero well. It's kind of one of the reasons why he's on this Dallas Fuel roster. But again, this is interesting to me. Effect, defensive, Genji.
With Mickey on a defensive Winston. So interesting. So it's kind of like split down the middle with like half dive with like Mickey, Effect, and then Harry playing Lucio. And then you have
talk about finding an identity. I mean, isn't this kind of the mix of two identities?
It is kind of like, it's like a 50-50 split. It's like, okay, half of us want to play slow. Let's pick those heroes. Half of us want to get aggressive. Let's go the other way. So it'll be Baby playing Widowmaker. He had a big impact on Volskaya playing Widowmaker, and it'll be Dante playing Junkrat. So Junkrat's a hero, obviously has some nerfs coming in between the stages. You haven't seen a ton of it, but it'll be Harry Hook getting picked off here early. That's not a good sign.
Fools act like they forgot about the trash mouse, man. I don't know. Look at that. I mean, he's just forced the entirety of the Dallas Fuel back into that choke. The only player that's close to the point is Effect on that Genji. What do you do here?
And look at how much he's already built 80% towards his ultimate. He's just going to sit up on that high ground.
Oh, no!
This one in a trap. That's going to be Mickey. He has a written tire here to use. They want to take the point.
Oh, the Dallas Fuel are getting completely minced right now. Dante, nice shot by AKM. Couple shots, takes a risk. He's been playing the Halloween game type, Matt. I know it. AKM now to pressure forward, and Dante's hiding behind the phone booth here. Gonna be pressured by AKM. Nomi there gets it. Oh, couple shots missing. AKM could have won that fight, but he missed a couple of crucial shots and allowed Nomi to roll over the top of him there. That was not a great defense at all from the Dallas Fuel. In fact, that was really not good.
Yeah, I mean, Dante was able to do a ton of work, 50% of his team's damage in that first fight, so obviously doing the work as Junkrat when they were able to get that first pick, right? Just force them into that choke. Almost a reflect there from Effect on a Baby. But once you force them back as Junkrat, you can just spam that choke, get a ton of free damage down.
Okay, so Effect's still playing the Genji here. What he's trying to do with it, I mean, remains to be seen. Perhaps a nano blade could be an option. Nomi goes in, slight boot body grenade dropped on top of him there, so that's going to give a lot of healing to the Dallas Fuel as Nomi tries to set himself amongst the backline like a cat among the pigeons. That's beautiful. Look at him jumping over the top here. It's very hard for the Fuel to get their ducks in a row, and that's Effect going down to Sleepy. Yeah, what is this Genji trying to do?
They used a nano boost on XQC, and he tried to get in towards the backline, but it didn't work out. It'll be Dak who takes out Chips as he's flying through the air as Mercy in Valkyrie, but that set up again. Remember that flank that Nomi did on Volskaya that set up that point B? He comes again on the flank. So he has Chips use that biotic grenade, use Primal Rage to stay alive, so Chips doesn't have that powerful Ana ability, right, in those streets to be able to just anti-heal a lot of the members of the Shock, and we're able to push right on through here. Is Effect still holding on to this Dragonflame?
Baby Bay, that Widowmaker, again. Space, very important to use there. Transcendence immediately employed as Effect tries to go for the Dragon Blade. So essentially, his blade is blunted. Now he's going to come forward here and do it with nothing but the Shuriken, and Dante's going to drop on in. Nice Riptide, but there was a sound barrier in place. The Dallas Fuel are very much unfazed by that burst damage that was front-loaded at them. And now Mickey wants to get that Graviton.
Yeah, it was that bubble from Mickey that's ended up saving XQC from getting hit by that Retire. It'll be a nano boost onto Mickey, and look at how much charge he has. It's an Earth Shatter from XQC that comes out as well. It looks like the Dallas Fuel will push San Francisco Shock back.
For the time being, but Dante's putting so much pressure on XQC right now, the rest of Dallas have already had to sort of step back. XQC is in grave danger. Dante's getting healed by the Harmony Orb, but XQC realizes, I have to get aggressive here if I'm going to try and push this area back. He does reclaim the space.
Yeah, they're going to have Effect and AKM, though, coming back off the spawn. So the Fuel should be good here. They have a 5-on-2 pretty much. It'll be a Riptide that comes out from Dante. They take out XQC. Now Nomi comes in with a Primal Rage.
They got it.
They do get that second point here as the Mickey pretty charged up, trying to fall back.
I mean, what do you do about that? There's only one player for the Dallas Fuel on the payload because the rest of them are running away from the Riptire. And then as soon as XQC drops down, Nomi jumps on and captures the point. Really hard to get out of that lose-lose.
This is a good change here from AKM, though. He goes over to Widowmaker. That's going to force some changes from the San Francisco Shock. Nomi jumps right on top of him. Man, Halo just rolling along as the Shock have just been dominant thus far. Baby Bay, though, answers back AKM's Widow with a Widow of his own.
No, there's no way Chips was going to get away from that. You can see Nomi just pushing them back, and Baby Bay had free range. No threatening really coming from the Dallas Fuel here. They're on the final stretch already, Matt. Nomi's got the Primal Rage here, so we can essentially keep most of the Fuel inside those corridors. He kind of forgets about Harry Hook here. He wants to go for more, though. AKM's down to Baby Bay here. Again, he's absolutely unloading, and that's Nomi coming with a Primal Rage here. Makes some space around the payload. It's all too easy!
Wow.
The Shock barely waylaid on this particular map. The composition, I'll be honest, Matt, from the Dallas Fuel makes not a lot of sense in terms of maybe trying to do a couple of different things at once. I'd be interested to get your take.
I mean, the Fuel finished with 6 relative eliminations, right? I mean, no, in terms of final blows.
They have 6 final blows across their team.
Harry Hook leads the way with 4.
He has the most final blows on his team with 4.
Yeah, so not a great start here.
How many final blows does Effect have?
Effect has 0.
How many final blows do XQC have?
Yeah, I mean, there is just AKM and Harry Hook with final blows on the board here for the Dallas Fuel.
Just a rough half.
Yeah, just they're never able to really recover after that first fight. You know, Dante comes in as Junkrat takes out Harry Hook at the beginning. They're never able to really get on the back foot after
I mean, this
that.
happens, right? Like, you can get snowballed out. We see it more commonly on maps like Gibraltar, in all fairness, just because the defenders aren't really benefited so much in that second phase. It can be hard to get back in. But this is kind of rare, I guess, for King's Row to get bundled out of that second phase so quickly. Dante was just so frightening. 34% of his team's damage, of course, done on that Junkrat. Just the threat of him was very, very hard to counter. And then, we saw, Effect trying to make stuff happen on that Genji. His only Dragon Blade, if memory serves, we actually had 2, but 1 was at the end of the game. His only 1 was sort of countered by Transcendence. He couldn't get anything done.
Yeah, and it's odd, with so much Genji in play for the Dallas Fuel. It's like, I feel like you got Rascal because he is a great Genji, right?
And Junkrat player, slightly.
Yeah, and Junkrat player as well. So, I mean, see Effect now playing Junkrat. AKM will play Pharah. An interesting pick, considering how great Baby Bay is on these hit scan heroes, especially Widowmaker. You expect him to be playing Widow on the defense behind this shield that Nomi's going to drop down as Orisa, so
I mean,
could be dangerous.
You can answer this Widowmaker by getting close to her quickly, but you can see it's quite hard to do. Note that AKM's still keeping low, trying not to give line of sight or even revealing his presence to Baby Bay as he comes out of the door. But now the cat's out of the bag, essentially, and the Dallas Fuel have to execute on this Pharah and Junkrat strategy.
It's going to be Baby Bay, though, connecting with a shot on Harry Hook, taking him out.
Oh, Dylan. Oh, no!
That's Mitch, that's kind of how I expected that to go, to be honest.
Yeah, but we don't want to poo-poo the strategy straight away, but Baby Bay's doing it all himself. Chips completely mashed. Does it blend? Answer is yes. And Effect getting taken down by Nevix after the fact, so that's rough. As soon as AKM walks out the door, he gets slapped by a shot here. XQC might go back and switch to the Winston.
I think
so. So a bit more dire from XQC. Mickey's still on the Zarya, though.
So I like this out of the Fuel now, because now Effect can put pressure with XQC onto Baby Bay, and that should allow AKM to do enough damage in the sky. No uncontested damage.
XQC dropping down, and Baby Bay opting just to put a couple of free shots into him. Infrasight active, so he could be hunting AKM. Yeah, he was. Only the one shot. Wasn't the headshot he was looking for, so now we'll set up a poison mine. He'll have early warning if someone's going to try and push him, and he's got a good little tight angle here to see the divers come in and sit back, get some damage done. It's in from over the top, it's Mickey. He's trying to hunt Sleepy down, and he actually found him. So Baby Bay now hoping to try and at least get a trade here, but Mickey's not done yet. Continuing the chase down, XQC gets rid of Nomi over on the point. The Shock now need to respond pretty quickly, but that was nice from AKM. Predictive rocket, he heard the Riptide coming, and he dispatches it.
Yeah, it was a nice dive in from XQC, and Mickey, they were able to split up the San Francisco Shock, but the Shock able to just stay alive in that back line. It's Baby Bay taking out AKM yet again. It'll be Dak using his Valkyrie, trying to stay alive. It's actually Harry who uses his Valkyrie to hunt down Baby Bay on the Widowmaker.
Yeah, beautiful. It actually might get something from this map.
His effect now has picked up one as well.
Effect's sitting back now, just creating a little bit more space. XQC's now returned to the fray, so the play off the Widowmaker Valkyrie might have actually been the go. You get the Widowmaker in, you get a Valkyrie damage, Caduceus Blaster, of course, and Dallas Fuel spawn much closer to the point, so they can afford to trade one for one. That trans, the timing, okay, not great as the barrage comes down and slaps Dante.
Man, that kill from Harry Hook, Valkyrie as Mercy, chasing down Baby Bay.
So baller.
Probably helped them unlock this point A. So, judged by the minimap, as you can see, it does not look like the Shock will come back. Try and challenge this as the Dallas Fuel unlock the payload.
It was only affecting Harry that was sort of at the point at that time. Really interesting they managed to turn things around, but again, their comrades were spawning quite close. And in the process here, what we've just seen, of course, is San Francisco dive and get a little bit aggressive on this defense, find a couple picks. This might slow down the payload. It also, importantly, lets the Shock set up a little bit more. You can see that Mickey now sits on the other side of the doorway. So he can sort of block a lot of damage and make it hard for the poke war to be won by the Fuel.
Yeah, looks like Nevix is the one playing close here for the Shock, and then everybody else by the corner playing behind that Orisa shield. It'll be Self-Destruct launched in. They connect with Sleepy.
What a big pick to start the fight off, Matt. However, Sleepy's brought back to fight. That's the impact now of that Mercy behind the Orisa shield. She's not threatened by going for those long drawn-out res channels anymore. That's a good response, though. Nevix will see your single kill and raise you two. Chips, AKM, Harry Hook, all completely dumpstered. Nevix gets the Mickey kill to finish off. I mean, he's had a great day as well. We haven't talked much about Nevix, but he's had a huge amount of involvement in the fights. He's equal on final blows with Dante and Baby Bay right now. So between the three of them there, that's the 30 final blows that have been dealt.
It's going to be AKM who takes out Baby Bay at the start, but look at this. Dante trying to sneak behind.
Wants chips.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want chips with that? You'll have it. That's it. Pulse Bomb goes in, chips down, and there's going to be the response. Harry Hook goes for the Valkyrie. There probably won't be an opportunity to get a proper res in the back line. So he's going, oh no, he gets it. Brings chips back. That might be important here. Because obviously Chips is getting close to that Transcendence, but Dante's still looking pretty comfortable. He's just dashing around that fight. Holt thrown in here. Dante sees his opponents all sort of brought together. And the Dallas Fuel are not making progress here.
Yeah, Dak gets a pretty high value res on Anomi, right? You bring back your Orisa, has so much HP. Yeah, XQC just trying to walk up. That's a lot of damage coming out from the Shock. It'll be AKM using the Rocket Barrage. It'll be Nevix getting in his face and the Transcendence used here.
Now the trans for the Dallas Fuel. They've got to get aggressive behind this one. They need to capitalize on the healing. Affects Riptide, though, doesn't even get to them. He also falls to the Pulse Bomb. Dante just dropped it on him while he was too busy trying to pilot the thing. And it's going to be rough. Chips just gets completely run down. Nevix with the micro rockets. Easy damage for him. A minute 40 left in the round. The Dallas Fuel committed ultimates to that fight. They tried to go for a preemptive Transcendence. It did not work.
And I feel like with the comp that the Shock is running, I was going to say Effect, I would like to see maybe even go back to the Genji, but he's going to go to Tracer here because Genji can do a lot of work against Orisa, right? It's a very hard target for Orisa to track, and then also put a lot of pressure on Baby Bay. Be a self-destruct that comes in, it breaks Nomi's barrier.
Yeah, but he sort of mitigates all the damage from it, and that allows Nevix to respond, removing XQC. Now the tip of the spear missing for the Dallas Fuel, but AKM getting damage done. Nomi's shield now not being there means he gets these easy headshots. Dante's down, Nevix now getting ejected from his suit. And the Deadeye from Baby Bay here just to buy a little bit of time, but you can break line of sight from Deadeye using the payload. So Baby Bay doesn't do very much except buy a few seconds, and that might be important here. And then Shocker trying to come back forward, but you can see the Fuel just launch forth once again. Sleepy very far forward. Again, they're trying to die on the payload as much as they possibly can here.
Yeah, Dante got a touch and then to use Recall to get all the way back as, maybe the Shock have one more attempt to get over towards the payload. 30 seconds left for the Fuel to take point B. They do have a Coalescence to use, and AKM going to get very close. He will have a Deadeye for this next fight. Nomi actually changes off of Winston, will go to Ryan, so it's going to provide off of Orisa and go over to Ryan. Provide
Special delivery.
Bigger shield here for Baby Bay.
Oh, I don't think it got eaten, but it just didn't connect there. So Effect not getting much value out of the Pulse Bomb. That might have been what they needed to actually win this fight. Now the Transcendent's been committed. San Francisco Shock at that time to step forward. They're getting aggressive behind that one. They get much more value out of it than Dallas did in the Streets phase. This puts Mickey in a compromising position. Immediately desuited as soon as he gets back in the mech. Dante finishes him off. Baby Bay with a big shot, forcing the recall out of Effect. And XQC's not going to get out of this one alive. We're in overtime, and there's a self-destruct in the payload. San Francisco Shock will take Kings Row, and hence will take the series.
And it opens up with a sleepy kill on AKM. How many fights have we seen during this match where Sleepy is the one to get that first kill?
I'm not gonna lie, man. Sleepy be woke. He got that third eye open. The chakra's going.
Yeah.
He's getting them balls involved. Love it.
I mean, man, he finishes with 22 limbs. Chips and Harry combined finish with 20.
So we still have another map to play in this series. If Fuel cannot win it from here on out, but for these two teams, that map differential is oh so important. Everything counts at this point for these two that are hanging in the balance. So stick around. We'll be heading to that one in just a moment. See if the Fuel can save some face and reignite.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. And by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League.
Blizzard Arena. Crowd is still going wild. I love everyone in here. Not just sucking up, I actually mean it. Now, the desk introduced a new segment during halftime called Where is Rascal? So, you know, I went on a little journey during halftime to find out where this young man is. And for some odd reason, this journey led me to the Dallas Fuel dugout, where I got to talk to their coaches a little bit. And yeah, big surprise, they wouldn't give away their subbing strat to me, but they did tell me that they're still in the process of integrating Rascal into their lineup. Mind you, he's one of their newest additions, and also prior to joining the Dallas Fuel, this young man actually didn't really speak any English, so I would assume that the communication is still something which needs some work on. But in the meantime, we're going to continue to enjoy Effect, a versatile and flexible player who has been a key part of the Dallas Fuel throughout the whole of Stage 1 and still in Stage 2. But you know what? Fun fact, Rascal is going to be back for the next match. So we're going to see him in map number 4 for the team. And with that, I conclude my mystery solving right here. Bren, you get 10 points. Rascal was in a dugout. So congratulations for that guess. I can't wait to see what team you actually pick at the end of this very matchup. And we're now heading into map number 4. Are you guys ready? So am I and everyone watching. So let's head it back to our casters.
Thank you very much, Zoe. Give her a hat. She's Carmen Santiago. But she found out the answer to our question, of course. Rascal's in. And like, we get it, right? This whole idea of integration, it does take time as well. Like, you've got to feed them to the strategies. Is throwing them in there and hoping they're going to be a wrecking ball is kind of not the play. Especially when you already have a roster that are kind of split in their objectives maybe, or their play styles like we talked about already. So, fair enough. But now, of course, where there's nothing really to lose for the Fuel, their series is technically over. In the big gun.
We have seen him play on Route 66 as well. Taimu will be coming in for XQC as well.
Yes, Timo. Poggers!
I feel like we saw XQC play very good on Lijiang Tower, and then, to be honest, you can't really... everybody kind of played meh on King's Row, and I think when your team's just kind of getting rolled like that, I feel like a main tank, your stats are never going to look good, and like you know, whether it's a big Earthshatter or a Primal Rage, it's not going to save the day, you know, especially when you're not able to get anything else done.
You know what it's time for, Matt? It's time for Rawhide! Let's go! We're heading into Route 66 now, and of course our last map of the series, and it will not affect the result, but that map differential is very important. So, you said we've seen Rascal before on this map, or the Dallas Fuel. What did we see from him?
You're going to see him play Sombra. Very good Sombra player. Be expecting him to play that on the defensive end. You know, on offense, they can actually run, you know, a pretty standard dive comp, right? Effector could play like a Widowmaker. You could run like Widow Genji. You could play 76 Genji. There's a lot of different things. You play Sombra on offense if you wanted to as well, right? We see that a little bit more.
Yeah, they're battling over health packs and, you know, trying to take zone control. It's crazy. It's like StarCraft and like using your creep spread and, you know, trying to, you know, extend your sphere of influence over the battlefield. It's fun.
Yeah, it's you'll see the Fuel here on defense start out. So he'll play Sombra on defense. So, you know, you'll want to control both of the health packs. Just to remind you guys at home, this is not the live patch we're playing on, so it's the one before that. So you still get ult charge from Sombra's hacked health packs and whatnot. She has a little bit of the... Then we get bullet spread.
You also don't have the same accuracy as a photon laser.
The translocator also has, 5 seconds left, so 15 instead of 20.
So again, that's the, you know, the Sombra of old. The one you're seeing right now is the new Sombra, the new era, new age, as it were. So we'll see a lot more play around those health packs as a result. You already pointed that out, Matt. So we'll see Nevix here throw a Sonic Arrow probably into the train car. Again, with the very cheeky strat of setting up very close to the defenders. We'll just see through that. But Baby Bayonet Widowmaker here. Rascal's going to look to really try and make his life miserable. Let's go.
The Fuel could really use that. Baby Bay has had a very good series thus far on Widowmaker, but a big difference maker.
I like it. The DPSs on this team are great. I mean, I can't sleep through one of those, by the way, because the bloke just wrecks people.
Yeah, I mean, this team, you know, the faults of the Shock have not really been their DPS and flex support with Sleepy. It's just been about, you know, getting everybody else to play up to par, right? Yeah. And I think they're getting there.
It's about being more than the sum of your parts, man. I think that's the trick, you know, here in the Overwatch League. They're all very talented individuals, the Shock. Just haven't had the results to match.
Well, we've seen Nomi have big games. You know, Nevix has been very good this series. We just barely missed a shot there, but eventually, you know, if Chips keeps jumping, trying to shoot him, eventually Baby Bay's going to hit that shot. Just, you know, playing with fire there.
Whoa, this might not be, you know, the Dallas Fuel sort of getting out of jail free here. They lost Chips. They do get a good EMP, but Taimu's down as well. So this is still going to allow the Shock to move forward. You notice that the Shock won't get overly aggressive yet. but they can keep moving forward. They don't have to go back to spawn. They're not staggered. Rascal's down now. That EMP probably won't have it for the next fight unless he gets there right at the beginning of it.
I was going to say, if Baby Bay played a little bit farther back, be very difficult for all the members of the Fuel to get on out, right? Because you'd have to have him jumped by either Taimu or Mickey, and then with both tanks going to deal with Baby Bay.
Oh no!
Right now, Taimu gets taken out in midair.
Discord Orb is not your friend when there's a Widowmaker hitting a headshot and then getting some extra damage. Baby Bay now, trapeze artist over the top here. A little bit of juking and jiving, and Chips just had to submit. He knew that he was done by that point. Solid from San Francisco. The inclusion of Rascal here hasn't done much to slow them down. The Sombra, with that one EMP thus far.
And does he stay on Sombra? At least it looks like right now he's come out of the spawn. You know, getting close to an EMP, maybe use that ultimate yet again, and then see a change where it's Baby Bay again with another pick, takes out Effect.
Dante now, just trading. Again, this damage he gets is fine. He's got that, you know, rewind to get out of jail. He wants to get close to another pulse bomb here as well. Now you put in a position where he can get that instant D-suit or an instant expulsion of a hero. What's Rascal looking for? Hack on Baby Bay, cheeky. He's still getting healed right now, but the Discord Orb gonna help out with that one. Dak in the distance. Can obviously fly back because he's used that Valkyrie. He has full air control. Rascal, having used that EMP prior, didn't catch the Mercy, so Dak's still free to sort of roam around here. Baby Bay's back in the fight though. How long will he be here for? The answer is not long.
Well, what Rascal does there is he hacks Baby Bay. Obviously, Baby Bay can't grapple out. That's a kill he's able to get onto him, and then it forces out Valkyrie. And you see Dak getting very low as Mickey landing some shots. But then what does Rascal do? He holds on to the EMP because he knows the rest of the Shock are going to get out there and try and help Dak and Baby Bay. Then gets a big EMP off, but it's still not good enough as the Shock continue to keep the payload moving.
Mickey up on the payload getting desuited. Rascal's close by inside the house on the left-hand side, and Chips is on the top right. That's all. The Dallas Fuel haven't been able to set up here. But Rascal's returned to the upper tunnel. And we'll probably see, you know, Sleepy sit back, expect there to be some resistance from that direction. You can see that Nomi's already waiting on the threshold. Rascal, though, is close by. You can see his little silhouette there. He's been on the payload, just giving a bit of a tickle. Effect trying to come forward. Doesn't connect the pulse bomb. Baby Bay really hardly broken a sweat there, just rolled back. They have lost Nomi to Effect. Baby Bay needs to be careful about his sidelines here.
Baby Bay goes off of Widow. Play the McCree, right? I mean, a lot of pressure coming out from Effect and Rascal. You can use that flashbang.
Easy to
try
blow
and pick something up. Yeah. It's going to be the EMP that gets used here from Rascal. So it's going to be Dallas Fuel picking up 2 kills early. This should be a fight that they're able to win. It'll be Nevix using his self-destruct, trying to keep this going as Baby Bay takes out Taimu.
Chips is on his own out here.
Rascal. Yeah, this might not be good for the Fuel. You see a lot of help coming from the rest of the Fuel, trying to keep everybody up as Chips uses a Transcendence here. Now the Shock will back out a little bit.
That's scary, isn't it? Even if you're a McCree, even if you have a flashbang, if you see Effect barreling towards you at a rate of knots. Okay, Dante, okay, that's fine. So it wasn't necessary for healing. Dante just opted out of that fight. He must have gotten a call just then to sort of disengage, and he goes for a recall when he didn't necessarily need the help. Fair?
Yeah, they end up backing out here. The Shock, and Chips uses that Transcendence towards the end of that fight when there's nobody really there for the Shock. That gives a big support advantage here to the San Francisco Shock, right? You have Valkyrie, you have Transcendence, you have a Deadeye. Rascal switches over to Genji, so not really built up towards the lane.
That
nice
big
there from Dante.
Harry Hill going down, and Chips actually getting chucked to very little health, but Dante just comes back to finish the job. However, before going down, Chips was able to pick off Sleepy in the final moments of life, which is very important, but Dak can bring him back. That's where the Mercy comes into play here. Dallas do not have one of those to rely on. Self-destruct, that's a big pulse bomb coming out from Effect there. Obviously, Dante now already got his one. Both Traces having big impacts in this fight. Dante now has his 3rd kill for this fight. Harry Hook down. It's affected Mickey around the payload here. Effect having to stall for a little bit. Baby Bay in comfortable position again. Tries to preemptively flash, but it misses. He's definitely done. Chips steals the kill away.
Oh, it is such a big pulse bomb from Effect, though. Probably keeps the Fuel.
And another one.
This as there'll be another pulse bomb here from Dante, trying to work his way onto Chips. Nice peel there from Harry Hook. It's probably not enough, though, as Dak and Nevix on the payload picking up the kill.
What a fight. That's some back and forth stuff here. The Dallas Fuel really started to dig their heels in after, in all honesty, Matt, not having a lot of control for the most part of the map. Here they wake up. Effect with a big double pulse bomb really starts to set things nicely for them. But unfortunately, they will give up that second checkpoint. San Francisco have over 2 minutes to finish the map.
And Baby Bay had switched to 76, was not feeling the McCree, but now he's actually switched off of Soldier. He's gonna go over to Roadhog here. So he's gonna triple tank here towards the end. Obviously Roadhog's hook, just having hook active is such a deterrent to a Tracer or a Genji. Be a Primal Rage that comes down from Nomi here first, just trying to buy some space.
I mean, it's great against either of the main tank selections for this part of the map.
Yeah.
Most teams bring up Reinhardt here. Obviously, Taimu, perhaps a less deep tank hero pool, having not played it as long, will stay on the Winston. But Baby Bay's still fine with that. He can wreck both of these tanks.
Yeah, we did see Taimu play a little bit of Reinhardt. That was against the Shanghai Dragons. That's the
right.
one game that we saw to be a self-destruct. Used
He
by
had a good
Mickey.
game.
He did have a good game as Ryan, as it'll be Dante using that pulse bomb. Next on to the mech of Mickey as Rascal just trying to figure out when to use his Dragon Blade. Probably not now, as all his teammates are dead. Trying to back up. Might barely make it back to the spawn.
Rascal actually reflected Baby Bay's whole hog back into Nomi, preventing Nomi from getting to grips with him, from actually being able to complete that dive. So he keeps himself alive with that one, which was fortuitous. But Nomi's down to effect. Rascal will definitely be thinking about this Dragon Blade, but give it a couple seconds. He's waiting for those blue bars to disappear, and it's time to go now. Dax trying to skate away here, trying to dodge, duck, dip, dodge, and dive. And it's time to go down here. Dante picked him up. Effect very low, and Dante's starting to clean house. He's had an excellent round so far in this Tracer. Nevix coming in to join Baby Bay, and then Transcendence timing was very good for the Fuel here to try and recuperate. And look at it, they're getting aggressive behind it. I like to see that, but maybe they pushed too far. They've lost Mickey, and Chips is down.
Yeah, when the Fuel get aggressive with that Transcendence, the Shock just back all the way on out. Taimu is switched off of Winston. Will go to Roadhog here, just trying to add some extra beef on the point. He just gets deleted, though, as soon as he tries to get over to it. It'll be Baby Bay with a whole hog to end things out. The Shock complete the map with 29 seconds in the time bank. Dude, listen to this. I just checked over at the stats. Dante, 27 elims, 19 final blows, 0 deaths in that first half. That is an insane... The Shock... Okay, so this just gets crazier. The Shock in total have 38 just total kills, right? No, pretty much final blows. Dante has 19 of them.
Half of his team's final blows. Incredible stuff. And Baby Bay as well said, fine, well, you know what? If you're going to frag out, I'll switch to the Roadhog and continue to set up some of this snowball, some of these plays. I mean, we talked about it. Sinatra will be able to play in 11 days. And Dante says, are you sure about that, fam? Are you sure about that?
He's been a real bright spot for the Shock the last few weeks.
Come in leaps and bounds since the start of the season. You know, we were skeptical at the beginning. He brought that Junkrat in, looked great. His Tracer, sketchy to begin with, now looking incredible.
I would say like the turning point was probably like week 4 of stage 1. Like the last 2 weeks of stage 1, he started to play much better and then carried it over into stage 2. Dak will be playing Ana. Dante will be playing Sombra here.
So Effect plays Osu and Aim Hero beforehand. Dante plays Minecraft. Who's winning now, boys?
Just exercising his brain. I don't know what happens in Minecraft, so I think you build stuff.
You do build
right?
stuff, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a genius.
Yeah, Minecraft PvP, man. That's where it's at. That's where obviously Dante's background is from, if you're wondering. But wow, leaps and bounds away from that one there. Really good round from the Shock. Getting the map done with, 30 seconds is very, very good. It's definitely on par for a very strong attacking performance. Now Dante goes back to the Sombra, which was an absolute, headache for the Dallas Fuel at the start of this series. So, the stars are aligned for the Shock here to have a strong round, but let's see what the Fuel bring. Rascal's going to be on that Reaper. Fries, and fries.
Yeah, Reaper very good against Sombra because even if you hack Reaper, obviously still able to do a ton of damage. The lifesteal as well from the shots that you land. They'll go with no main tank. They'll actually have 2 off tanks. So Time will play Roadhog, Mickey will play D.Va. Effect will play McCree here. It's going to be very difficult. Not a shield to hide behind for Effect. Every time he comes around the corner, the Baby Bay is just going to be able to put down that consistent damage on him. It's Dante already 70%, 85 now to an EMP.
The only thing that stops a biotic grenade on this team, by the way, is Mickey's defense matrix. That's scary. Oh, that's scary as well. Timing put to sleep. Does get hacked. There's the EMP drawn out from Dante. And then Rascal gets taken down straight away. One of the only heroes in the Fuel can actually get stuff done when he's hacked, but he goes down instantly. Time is over the edge. Your boy's done.
You mentioned it, the biotic grenade. You took a look at the kill feed. It was the first 3 kills. Had an assist there from Doc. He's able to hit a huge biotic grenade inside of Big Earls. Look, Dante's already almost 60% to another EMP here. Baby Bay with the tack visor, and Dak will have a nano boost as well. Great start on defense for the Shock.
Okay, Dante gets about 11 to 15% on his ultimate, just getting that damage done. Rascal's looking low as well. Body grenade thrown in here, but that was more to benefit the Shock, give them that healing. Nomi's fairly low on HP right now, but no one for the Fuel's really contesting that high ground. It's just Mickey giving it a tickle, and that's not going to be enough. Not when the EMP comes out. Rascal and Chips are down, and Dante is having an insane map right now, and the series has been phenomenal from him. Taimu just going to get himself tasered a bit. Another one fight for the Shock, and now the pressure starts to build for the boys from Dallas.
Yeah, Dante's used two, nice cleanup there at the end by Baby Bay, but Dante's used 2 EMPs. He's EMP'd 10 enemies. That is great value out of your EMP there. He's building the ult every 43 seconds, so basically every fight, going to have that EMP it allows the Shock to save some other ultimates as well. Rascal will switch over to Genji here, so now it's going to be an actual dive that comes out from the Fuel.
You can see they're getting serious as well. Sleepy realizes the murderous intent. The Dallas are bringing forward, that goes for the Transcendence. That allows Baby Bay to step back, and Rascal clearly didn't have a reflect available now for the Tactical Visor. Taimu heading for the hills again. Each fight, it's a different player, and the Shock stepping up. Dante getting, more value than 10 easy payments of $19.99 on those EMPs, and he's going to have yet another one. How do you break this as the Fuel? They tried the dive, Matt. It just completely fell flat.
Well, I did like what the Fuel tried to do there. They tried to jump right on top of Dak as he's all the way in the back as the Ana, but Sleepy there uses his Transcendence. They use Nano Boost as well. Clean up those kills. Now maybe the Fuel can get something going as Chips, I believe he had that Coalescence for a while. I didn't get a chance to see him use it. He actually switches over to his dead, and Harry Hook uses Sound Barrier. It gets negated though by the EMP.
Yeah, he's like a point guard. Nevix there just blocks the dive in from Taimu with the boop away that D.Va can offer, of course. Hard to get to grips there with the backline of the Shock, but now Dallas starting to get the ball rolling a little bit more. Taimu's down. Nevix and Nomi are going to back away. There is some time to at least get a decent stagger set up here. So Rascal, in effect, are likely just going to make sure that that's... Oh, that's cheeky, Dumzer. What are you doing? Just to stall out for a bit. You can get out of jail free. It's fine. Now Baby Bay's up on the high ground.
And they can lead the way with a self-destruct if they want here. Rascal with the blade has to go big here. He's going to use it. He's going to jump right on top of Baby Bay. He will fall.
Comfortable kill there for Rascal. Will he get more, though? Self-destruct now might force him away, but he gets Nevix as he gets desuited. Nomi's on the payload, but it's just him against the world. The Dallas Fuel have finally found the formula to fight their way through and at least get that first checkpoint. Hard-fought wins here for the Fuel. The School of Hard Knocks is what Shock are taking them to.
Dante just play over stats at this point. He still hasn't died. Able to just get on the way back out. He runs away on Sombra. He does have an EMP. Coming up next is Chips builds his way up towards a Transcendence. He'll have both tank ultimates here. So Dak will move off of Ana, so he'll go over to Lucio just to provide a little bit more help for Sleepy in the back line. It'll be Baby Bay use that attack visor right away. Rascal takes him out.
Baby Bay's getting awful used to having his tactical visors shut down. We tend to see it fairly often. And that should be enough for him to get the fight won, and it is.
Oh, yeah.
Harry finds Sleepy. In fact, chasing down, and now this is where you start to build some of the momentum. This is where the boys in the engine room are shoveling that coal real fast, and the Fuel starting to spring forward.
And you see Baby Bay switch over to Tracer. They'll leave Dante on Sombra. It's interesting because maybe you would have had Baby Bay stay on 76 and then switch Dante over to that Tracer. But I guess you really value having Sombra here. Yet again, Taimu uses Primal Rage, just trying to knock players back here in the tunnel. Mickey will launch in a self-destruct there as well. Be a Transcendence used by the Shock here, trying to just get out.
Yeah, they would have tried to establish some presence here so far. Rascal's got another Dragon Blade, and he's got another kill. Dak falls. And Rascal has to sort of lose most of this Dragon Blade time because of the self-destruct throw now. But Effect was able to make good use of it. Nomi's been removed. It's just Nevix in terms of tanks for the Shock over on the payload. And Sleepy's keeping a respectable distance, but he'll have to come forward in just a second now as the Dean mech has occurred. Good hack on Rascal. He can't do much. Just sort of stands there like a stunned mullet. Very low on HP as well. Baby Bay chases him down. That hack, it takes a long time to get a hack in this form of Sombra, but man, it's devastating once it occurs.
Yeah, and I believe Harry Hook ends up using a Sound Barrier there, and I think it's really only him and Rascal alive at that time, so you don't get a ton of use or value out of that Sound Barrier. Is that now the Fuel use everything there just to try and advance to that point B. Now only 38 seconds left.
Chips, oh, it's Bank not fried. He gets taken down with an EMP. And again, that's great with Dallas Fuel only having 30 seconds. If you're a Shock fan, you know that they've been incredibly heavily staggered out in this next fight. And now Dak's going to have himself a sound barrier. There's a primal range there. Dallas Fuel must dig deep here. They're only really going to have a pulse bomb.
Somebody's going to have to get a touch. It's probably going to have to be Taimu jumping over the top. Looks like they're going to opt to go all the way around that outside.
Dante's following them. He killed creepers in Minecraft, Matt. Now he's become one in Overwatch, sticking right behind him. Nomi going to come in with a primal rage here. That's going to have to be the order of the day. Pulse bomb fizzles, goes onto the outside of the shield, and Nomi's not affected by it. Rascal low HP, forced into a reflect, but Nevix chases him down, and Nomi returns to the payload. Harry Hawk being knocked aside. Nomi finds a primal rage kill. Now back to deal with the big bodies. It's the tanks here. Gets a lot of value out of that primal rage, a lot of damage done. Bubble won't protect against the self-destruct. Mickey tries to break it open, and he gets stacked for his troubles. Here's the Transcendence in over the fight, though. It's just Mickey and Effect out of there. Everyone else is so far away, and Chips is just looking on in the background with dismay at the Dallas Fuel are turfed off for the payload here. Overtime is done, and is the series. 3-0 to San Francisco Shock. This time, against the Fuel, they come out on top.
Dante finishes this map, if you're wondering, 48 elims, 27 final blows, 1 death. Dominates Route 66 here against the Dallas Fuel. A very good day for the San Francisco Shock.
Absolutely. These are the matches, Matt. We've discussed it all through this series. Both of these teams need the wins here, especially against each other, especially against other mid-table teams where they ostensibly can have a chance to win. They can't be giving away maps like this or series, and the Fuel have got to be frustrated with that one. They started the season so well. 2-0 in that first week. Had a rough one last week. Understandable. They played up against some top teams. But this is one that's going to hurt. This is going to sting.
Yeah, it doesn't get easier for the Fuel this week. Another tough match coming up. It is the Shock who take this series 3-0. Mitch, looked like a completely different team here today.
And the Shock have got New York, London, and Houston the next 3 matches. So the win here, they'll hope it'll boast of them going forward. It's going to be a gauntlet coming up for San Francisco. Much to be said and done. We've still got more games today. We'll be back after the break with the desk.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Last time these two teams squared off, the Fuel came out 3-0, but this time it is the Shock. They will have their revenge today, and they will pull out the 3-0 victory over Dallas Fuel. Welcome back, everyone, to the desk. Golden Boy here with Brennan Sideshow. And, I mean, you know, the Shock, I'm just going to say that before the match, I don't know if you recall.
I predicted Shock to win.
That is not true.
That is true. That's completely true. The prediction was in.
Is that true, crowd? I don't think Bren predicted the Shock to win.
They're not listening. They're not paying attention.
You don't think
to
they're?
me. Don't worry
Whenever
about that.
Bren opens his mouth, nobody pays
Everyone
attention.
chews.
You are. I want you to know right now that I love you. Okay.
Okay.
That's what I want you to know.
Very
so here
nice.
you go.
Are you only
Do
saying that
the
because
deed.
people on Twitter?
There you go. People on Twitter are saying that we're mean, so there we go. That's what
People on
that's what
Twitter
you
were
did.
being mean.
Okay. Right. Well, let's break down the game. A lot of signs in the back here. Don't know how to deal with this one.
Go Valiant.
My body feels things. So, Sideshow. Let's go into Kings Row now.
Yes, we were talking about how good Nomi was in the first half. Actually, what an improvement that had been for him, and I feel like he really came out to play on Kings Row as well.
Yep.
He had some fantastic performances, particularly when they were on the attack. I think that in general, the fact that he was able to outplay, or not outplay because they're not really going head to head, but having more impact than XQC in this game was impressive to me, because we typically don't see that kind of performance coming out from Nomi. I feel like there's maybe something that's clicked inside San Francisco Shock.
Definitely. I mean, I don't know what it is. Possibly coaching decisions. Who knows? I mean, knowing Harsha, maybe, but I mean, no guarantees there. But still, I can say that. We're friends with Harsha. It's okay. It's okay. Please don't crucify me. But Nomi has been stepping up his game tremendously throughout this entire match. And again, dead impressed with the dude because...
And it's not just Nomi as well. Dante had a great performance.
But Dante's almost like a no-brainer these days.
Sure,
like, he's just playing consistently well every single game he's playing in Stage 2, which is kind of crazy. And here's some stats for you. Just, place that in your basket. Have a load of that. Why not? Junkrat coming out onto Kings Row. He was a big part of why they were so effective with the tank compositions.
Yeah, and they were completely able to lock them out at various times, just completely shut down fights. And the fact that he gets so few deaths in these situations is brilliant, because when he was playing Tracer on Route 66 as well, he basically got 0 deaths there as well. He had a ridiculous kill streak.
Actually, 0.
Literally
27.
Of course,
he didn't
because
basically get 0. He actually got 0.
Because he only died, actually, when he went over to the Sombra, and he still managed to rack up a ridiculous 37 elimination kill streak there over the course of Route 66. That was crazy. So now we can really start to talk about San Francisco as a dual threat team with their DPS. Previously, if you remember back to the stat card we showed at the beginning about all of the hero damage output for players, yes, Baby and Dante were doing a lot of damage, but they weren't able to pick up the kills. And now I feel like this team's got a bit more coordination between them to be able to actually finish a lot of these frags.
Now, but Shock are currently sitting 2-3 in Stage 2, 5-10 overall. They lost to Seoul 2-3, lost to the Gladiators 0-4, lost to Seoul again 1-3, and then lost to the Valiant 1-3. Their only win was against the Shanghai Dragons, which in this stage, 4-0. Up next, though, they have NYXL, London, and Houston.
That's a bit tough.
A little tough over there, man. Yeah. So my question is this. I mean, has this team kind of found a resurgence, or is this just a one-hit wonder? Is this like Tony, and Tony? You know what I'm saying?
Are you making references that are too old for us again? We've been rude.
The only Tony I know is the Tiger.
That one actually showed my age, honestly.
Yeah, sure it did.
You know,
was that a one-hit wonder back in 1940 or something, Golden Boy? Yeah.
More 90s, okay?
Playing that one in the war.
Yeah. Back in my day, I listened to Tony, and Tony.
But I do actually think this might be a one-hit wonder, and the reason that I say this is that San Francisco Shock tend to play better when they're up against more passive teams. Yeah. And Houston is the only one out of those, maybe London as well, that are more passive, but they've got the fundamentals nailed down a lot better, I think, than San Francisco Shock do. San Francisco Shock are really consistent, actually. They're consistently kind of in the middle. They're consistently average, if you want to put it like that, in terms of the overall Overwatch League. But they are consistent. You got to give them that.
I do want to say, though, countdown to the apocalypse.
What?
Sinatra.
Yeah, okay, that makes more sense.
Okay. I don't know, we need to find a thing that actually connects with Sinatra and count down To
I agree
Sinatra
with
lips?
this.
I don't know. That
Sinatra lips?
the
That just
Sinatra-
sounds like
here's the
you're
thing.
about
That
to
just
flip.
sounds like Sinatra
Yo,
has
let me
lips.
let
I
me
don't
prompt
know.
you a question. Let me
Yeah.
prompt you a question.
Don't do that.
Okay.
Go
All
ahead,
right,
go
I'll
ahead.
prompt myself a question. No, I'm going to prompt you one. I'm going to turn it back around once again. The 180, 180, 180. Once again.
Okay.
Do you think this team's going to turn around once Sinatra gets into it?
I think so, but you know who I think is going to help lead the charge here?
Yes.
It's going to be our Omen by HP player of the match. It's Sleepy. Oh, that felt
You're
good.
incorrigible.
I am.
good.
I'm so good. There's Sleepy, the support for this team. He has been incredible. And he's actually been putting a lot of damage out there as that Zenyatta.
Yeah, I think he came alive in the second half and was one of the big reasons that they were able to take it over Dallas Fuel here. He had a ridiculous amount of kills onto AKM in particular over Kings Row, and even in the first half as well. He got 7 kills on AKM, and only 2 times was he killed by AKM.
Nuts.
So yes, AKM's in the backline a lot. He's not really the guy that's going to be diving on Sleepy, but if you're able to get the picks on the star player of the opposing team repeatedly as Zen, you're basically winning fights.
Here's what's impressive to me as well is the fact that he's actually got more final blows than deaths. That's very rare for Zenyatta players at all. Normally they finish in the negatives because they're being dove upon and they die so often. Because essentially you're just playing a walking potato again. It's a robot that doesn't have any mobility. That's what Zenyatta is, except that he also puts out incredible damage and also has Discord Orb, and he also levitates, yes. So almost a levitating potato, but still a very strong one at that. Provides a lot of
This metaphor's
carbohydrates.
breaking down.
Golden Boy's looking at me very funny right now, but you got to just stick with it. A lot of carbohydrates.
Yeah.
Potatoes, very good.
And there's one thing I know, it's carbohydrates. I'm definitely all about that life. I'm just carved down, baby. Chiseled by marshmallows and butter. Just demolishing it. The game is real. All right, well, gentlemen, thank you so much. And you know, of course, always a pleasure. But we have one more game.
We do.
We have
We're
one more
saying
game.
it like we're leaving, like we're
That's
done.
right. I know. I mean, we might be. I don't know. I think the production might come by and just sweep us off. Call Puckett out of his house and be like, Puckett, get back here.
back
The
quick.
shenanigans are too real. But folks, I think that the face over there says it best. It's the Battle of LA. That's right. We're going to have the Valiant going up against the Gladiators. Will the Valiant fly high or will the Gladiators shields up? Don't go anywhere as we have one more game to come, and it's going to be a good one. We'll see you in a few.